This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Isn't that a great opening? Christian, great job. Welcome to DBL. Guys, what is it? It's Friday! Thank goodness! I am wearing a lot of yellow this week because I am happy. It's May 14th. I'm Tori here with my good friends, Lindsay and Brandon. How are you both feeling?
Feel like it's Friday.
Feel like it's Friday.
Yeah.
It's good to hear. And Brandon?
I'm just happy to be with my friends, like you say, Tori.
No, it's like somebody forced him to say that.
I had something, I was thinking something else, but then I was like, all right.
It's good to be with
Ready
you
to do
as
TV
well.
though. Yeah, for sure.
All right, we have some big news, guys. It's finally here. Drum roll. Literally the moment so many of us have been waiting for. Of course, we're talking about the new CDC guidance saying fully vaccinated people no longer need to wear masks or stay socially distanced. Woo! So for many of us, it is going to come down to what state and local governments allow. But a lot of places are following suit and doing away with mask mandates inside. So this is a great day for people who are fully vaccinated, but still a lot of questions, right? Like, how do you know who's really vaccinated or not? And what kind of proof will be required? And does this mean that vaccinated and unvaccinated people will be treated differently?
Like a water fountain for vaccinated and
No joke, like
unvaccinated type
kind of
people?
like that in a way because
you really
of like.
think we would go that way though?
Well, I think at some point the segregation needs to be on like, and I say that meaning thoughtfully, being like, will this turn into one class lower than the other because one is vaccinated and one isn't, with more access to things? What do you guys think?
When I first saw this message, well, you know I have OCD. I'm like very nervous that taking off the mask is not going to work for me. Like I just need to wear it, and especially
You're also
traveling or
pregnant, so
everything.
that's-
Yeah, I'm just really nervous, and I know there's still like a very slight chance that you can still pass it to people and still catch it if you do get the vaccine. But the fact that he said take the mask off and we're just done with this, I was terrified because how are people going to check who got vaccinated and who's not? And so I feel like everyone's just going to be free this summer, and so I'm going to be the only idiot with the mask.
So you're the only one in the mask.
Yeah, because I just don't. I'm too nervous.
No, I mean, we've already dealt with that. I mean, people have taken this, politicized it, or did whatever they wanted with this, the vaccine and now in the virus, and they've chose to live their lives the way they've wanted to live their lives. People have already been masked off. People go somewhere, they're in the grocery store, they still have their mask on. When it comes to that, I just think now that the CDC actually put out some sort of guidance, then it makes it a lot easier for the restaurants and the companies in some sort to have some sort of rules put in place. So when we go hang out, we feel free in that sense, you know?
Yeah. Is this? I would like wristbands. I know that's really bad, but it's
Oh man, I
We're
hate
going to
wristbands.
Coachella?
Yeah.
yeah, kind of. It's going to be tricky for a while, and I just
Well,
want
you
to know
said you're
what's
going to
safe.
collect cards from even family members to make sure they're vaccinated.
I'm going to go lower on that. My mom said she's never showing me her passport. All right. So what does this mean for the CDC guidance? What does it mean for you? Well, to help answer some of these questions, we are joined by our very own medical expert and my friend, Dr. Payal Kohli. Good to see you.
Hey, Dr.
Doc.
Kohli.
How are you?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
We're doing well. Well, let's start with the biggest question that so many of us want to know. I can't believe I'm about to ask this. Does this mean the pandemic is finally over for fully vaccinated people?
So I have to say almost, but not quite, because really the pandemic is going to be over when it's over for everybody. And I'm talking not just in a U.S. sense, but in a global sense, so other countries as well. But I think this really does demonstrate the power of the vaccine in giving us back our freedoms, giving us back the things that we love doing in our life, and the vaccinated people can really pretty much do everything reasonably safely at this point.
So, Dr. Kohli, obviously, if you know you're going somewhere where everyone's vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. But what if you're going to like a party or a barbecue or a grocery store where you're not sure about everyone's status?
Yeah, this is a great question, Lindsay. I think something that's on everybody's mind. So what I'm going to do, even though I'm fully vaccinated, is before I go into a grocery store, I'm still going to put on that mask. And it's not so much to protect me, because I'm reasonably protected as a vaccinated person, but it's really to create that culture that the mask is still around to protect our kids, to protect those immunocompromised people that can't get the vaccine, and to protect those people that are not yet vaccinated. So I don't want us to completely get rid of the mask. But on the other hand, if I was going to a party, like a DBL party, for example, hint, hint, to the producers, where everybody was vaccinated, I would walk in there holding my head up high without my mask and show you guys my beautiful smile.
And imagine wearing lipstick. Remember Miss Lipstick matters now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you forgot what everyone's face looks like here.
Matters.
Dr. Kohli, I'm gonna have to be your +1 at that DBL party there. All right, so they gave me
I would love that.
So they gave me the question about kids and masks. I have no kids, but if can kids go and be with their parents in stores or out and about if their parents are fully vaccinated?
No, unless the kid is over 16 and they've gotten their vaccine, or in that 12 to 15 group and they've been fully vaccinated. But kids under 12, Brandon, they just can't. And this is what's really tricky about this weird transition period that we're in right now. So I think, you know, a kid that's 5 years old is going to have a hard time understanding why their parents not wearing a mask and they have to wear one. But they're still vulnerable, so we still have to protect them. And some of this may be us just modeling the behavior. So Jeff, for example, or Sam, when they have little kids, they may just wear the mask just to model that behavior for their children so that they feel more comfortable wearing them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think you have to do that at some point.
It seems tough to try to do that and also have your kids who are really young saying, okay, I'm going to put this on, but you're not. So you kind of have to.
Yeah, you kind of have to model that behavior even though you don't want to. Dr. Kohli, thank you so much for answering and masking our questions.
Not a good one, Tori.
I'll see you guys at the party, right?
Yeah,
This weekend?
Party. Yes, we will. We can't wait to see you with your smiling face. We miss you very much in person. Much love. Thank you so much, Doc. All right, here's a nightmare scenario for anyone. A woman in California was sold the winning lottery ticket. Good news, right?
Yep.
Meaning she won $26 million, but she says the winning ticket was destroyed in the wash. Wow. Lottery officials are investigating. Here's what a store employee said about this tragedy.
And so when she pulled it out, it was all crumpled up like in little pieces, and she said she frantically tried to put them all together, but she couldn't.
What would you do if you realized your $26 million ticket literally went down the drain?
Lindsay, Tori, you sit down, you grab a nice bottle of red wine, you get your Rolodex out.
Start the music, Steve.
You get your Rolodex out, and you go back and you apologize to anyone that you've ever done wrong to, because that's karma.
Wow.
You washed away $26 million. That's karma. Go back and apologize to everybody.
Or it's a strong washing machine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Make
hopefully a
that-
good one that
make
can
that
get this ink off of something.
I mean, it's ripped apart. Well, I mean, that's not a bad call, though. I totally get that as justification. What do you think?
I mean, for $26 million, I'd probably go figure out how to put that thing back together,
But you-
get the ink organized. No, there's ways. We put pictures back together,
Whoa.
right? We put pictures back together, like old photos that are destroyed, and you bring them back to life.
Lindsay.
I would try to bring it back to life and bring the lottery experts or the head, I'm good for reaching out to somebody's CEO.
You guys.
The CEO of the lottery company, come with me to show that this is real.
With a magnifying
Yeah,
glass,
exactly. Let's just figure it out. No, I can't. I couldn't accept
26.
that.
No,
I
I
would
agree.
never be able to go to bed at night and accept
First
that.
of all, you just called them the lottery experts, which is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And second, I agree with you. I would call in like legal. I would call in like, you can tell it's from the store. You can tell the serial number was at this time when the ticket was bought. You can see I'm in the store by video.
Nah.
I would make a case for it.
You would be.
Yeah.
You're doing it in a more normal way. I'm trying to be crazy and go on like CSI. But either way, we
It
both are
worked.
trying to get to the same goal of
I
like, I
wouldn't-
need my money, please.
I wouldn't let that go. I would not let that go.
No. That's
can't.
not. But the
26 million. You can't just have a bottle of wine and
but
say,
Lindsay-
"Oh, karma." That you wouldn't do that.
Lindsay, you can't just sit there, grab Elmer's glue, and puzzle a piece of a lottery ticket back together.
I would try.
Then call
Okay,
the
well-
lottery police.
Okay, Buddha. Well, I know how calm you are and how you can deal with these situations so calmly. $26 million.
Yeah,
He's
good
gonna
one.
have a bottle of wine.
Brandon's all chill, is that right? Coming up on DBL, we're talking to Back to the Future actress Leah Thompson, from the iconic trilogy to working with John Hughes. She's got some details and she's telling us all about it. Plus, new details about the upcoming Friends reunion that everyone's talking about.
Closed captioning provided by
Across the country, there are visuals like this. People waiting in long lines to fill up at the pump. But there's a lot of misconceptions and straight up misinformation out there. So let's verify 3 fuel facts you need to know. Our sources are Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy and Ken Medlock from the Center for Energy Studies at Rice University. Let's start here. Was this actually a shortage? DeHaan says that despite a lot of confusion saying otherwise, it's actually not.
This issue was a delivery issue. Almost like UPS or FedEx couldn't deliver a package for a few days.
In other words, there's plenty of gas out there, it's just not getting to the consumer. Okay, here's our next question. Why are prices so high right now? AAA says the average price is $3 a gallon nationwide. This time last year, it was $1.85. Our experts say that the gas prices have actually been trending upward since November of last year.
Americans are hitting the road and demand has continued to increase. That is why we're seeing prices go up.
But Medlock tells us that on top of all that, we did see gas prices go up as a result of the pipeline issue.
That 10 to 15 cent move we've seen, depending on where you are, is really the result of the pipeline going down.
Okay, question 3. If you're looking to stock up on gas, how long can you keep it?
The shelf life, 3 to 6 months. It really depends on the time of year, the type of fuel, where you're getting it.
But that assumes that you're using an approved fuel container, which is the safe way to do it. Our experts urge you not to be like the people in these viral videos.
A CVS bag, seriously?
Do not transport gasoline with bottles, milk cartons, or plastic bags.
Do not do that. That is incredibly dangerous.
With your Verify, this is Evan Kozloff.
Welcome back to DBL. Big shout out to our coworkers tuning in from home during the pandemic, which is almost over. And a big happy birthday to Karen. Her birthday was yesterday.
Woo! Happy birthday, Karen.
We miss you, love. All right. Well, they've set the date. The highly anticipated Friends reunion. Huh? Like from the opening? You guys know what I'm talking about. It'll now air on May 27th. The HBO Max has released the first look at the special, which featured the backs of all 6 cast members walking away slowly in twilight from the camera. The special had been delayed, of course, multiple times because of the pandemic, but the cast members were finally able to reunite on the show's original soundstage on the Warner Brothers lot. We also know some of the people invited to the party, and it's not us. The guest list includes David Beckham, Justin Bieber, K-pop group BTS, Lady Gaga, and Malala Yousafzai. Yeah, the Nobel Prize winner, just to name a few. So, first of all, let's just talk about the bizarre guest list after we talk about the setup. It's not going to be a Friends show. They're all going to be on like a couch discussing and talking about how it used to be.
Like they did for the Fresh Prince reunion.
That's it. It's going to be, it's not going to be like, Chandler, could you be any more reunion-y? It's just going to be them like sitting there. Is that good for you or no?
I think it's great. Now I really have a reason not to watch. You know, I've never watched an episode of Friends. Like, I know who those actors and actresses are after they went on and did some really cool stuff, but I never really got into Friends. But I like that guest list, which I had to turn down because I had to work.
I hear you.
Yeah, I got to work.
I heard you were busy. Can I ask you a question that's kind of serious?
Yes.
Is it because it was like an incredibly white show?
So
like, I hate to be the person, the elephant in the room, but there was no people of color.
I thought that I was gonna be the only one on the panel that's like, I'd never seen an episode of Friends, but I think it's just because for people of color, we were like, in what way can we relate to this at all? Because all TV was mostly white people, right?
Totally.
And so Friends was just another show of just all white friends doing all what, like Sex and the City. I don't know, but that one had fashion in it, so I have a lot of friends that work in fashion, so I related to it. I was from New York. But for Friends, I was just like, okay, this is not for me, I guess.
I mean, it was very interesting because they had very few black people, even in New York at the time, which was weird. The guest list, I want to say, Malala Yousafzai. I know a lot of millennials, like my younger cousins, who watch Friends not when it aired, but they binged it, and it's like their comfort food. And I think Malala must have just like binged it during her studies, like any other.
But what would make a millennial want to watch Friends? Like,
it's almost like us watching Cheers. Like for me, it's like comfort food.
Or going back to Martin or Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
You know, people go back, millennials go back and watch those shows. No.
Why would y'all go back to what? There's so much great
Golden
TV
Girls
on right now.
Anyone?
No, you're missing me. I'm batting over
Golden
right now.
Girls.
Did anyone else get confused when I saw that list of people? I thought they were going to be all acting in the Friends episode that was going to come back. I misread this whole thing, and I was like, oh wow, how's Malala going to act?
No, how is Malala going to act? She comes into the apartment.
Right, like, is she going to play an activist?
No, but apparently the people like Tom Selleck, who were also on the show, will make cameos on to discuss how they felt being on the show.
Wow.
So
okay.
you know what I'm saying? So we're going to see all of that.
Lindsay also thought she could put a lotto ticket back together and call the lotto.
We moved on from that.
Lotto police.
No, I'm the lottery experts are on her. Woo, woo. Coming up on DBL, we're catching up with your favorite stars of the 80s. And next, Leah Thompson reveals the very, very cheeky prop she kept from Back to the Future. You'll never guess it. Stay tuned.
After being criticized for being too cautious, the CDC has done an about-face on face masks. So why the change? Turns out vaccines are that good. Let's connect the dots. Some of the criticism the CDC has faced was it was underselling vaccines by not allowing vaccinated people more freedom. That's because the data we now have on the COVID vaccines show they are extremely effective in preventing severe disease. Experts now have more than just the results of the clinical trials, they have real-world data. One reason the CDC was cautious was because of concerns that even vaccinated people could still spread the disease. But as more shots are going into arms, it looks like that is not common. One real-world study found that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines help prevent transmission, not just symptoms. So now the focus moves from face masks to encouraging everybody to get vaccinated.
Welcome back to DBL. From movies like Some Kind of Wonderful to Back to the Future, Leah Thompson is one of our favorite 80s stars. You may also know her from the popular 90s sitcom Caroline in the City or Howard the Duck. We have some fans from there. Well, earlier we checked in with Leah all about what she's been up to lately. That's in today's special series, Favorite Stars of the 80s. Leah Thompson, welcome to DBL. Now, you go down in history as one of film's most famous moms because everyone knows Marty McFly's mom. We're talking to her right now, Lorraine, in Back to the Future.
I hope you don't mind, but George asked if he could take me home.
Great, good, Lorraine. I have a feeling about you, too.
So, over the course of the trilogy, do you have a favorite specific part about playing Lorraine? Because she's had some good moments.
Well, it was a great part because I got to play all the different ages and all the different kind of incarnations of Lorraine McFly. So it was a great part in a great movie. So I couldn't be more thankful to be playing the mother of a 17-year-old for 40 years.
That's true. I never thought about that.
My father! Did you get kicked out of another boarding school?
Now, and Back to the Future 2, which I loved, when Lorraine was married to Biff, which I did not love. But is it true you took a very specific souvenir from the set?
Yes, I took my bust. They created a fake bust for me, and I didn't want it to fall into the wrong hands, so I took my latex dress home with me. Never to be used again.
Leah, you could sign that and that could go in the Met. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's history.
Speaking of iconic roles, you got to work with John Hughes in one of my favorites, Some Kind of Wonderful. And people say John Hughes defined a generation, but there's been some criticism here and there for how young women are portrayed in his films. Molly Ringwald even called much of his writing inappropriate. I just wanted your take. You have the floor. What did you think about that?
Well, I think Some Kind of Wonderful was one of his most sensitive movies.
Yeah.
I don't think he made too many gaffes in that movie, as you would see now. But, you know, as history changes and we all expand our minds and our sensitivities, I think it's important to, you know, put things in context for the time. You know, John was trying to do something, but he was also a comedian in a very kind of insensitive time. Some of the stuff kind of made me cringe when it happened.
Really?
When I watched it, but not Some Kind of Wonderful. I mean, my husband directed it. I met him there, and we've been married for 32 years. So, yay.
That's Some Kind of Wonderful.
There we go. Oh, Tori, you nailed that one.
Nailed it. Okay. That's wonderful. Sorry. She's like, please go.
All right. Now, I remember being a little kid and watching this. We have to talk about Howard the Duck.
Howard.
Yes, we do. It started out as a box office flop and has become an enormous cult classic.
Sometimes I still get this feeling there's some kind of special destiny waiting for me.
Howard, that's it. Maybe that's why you're here.
And even gets a re-release this year to celebrate its 35th anniversary. How has that experience been for you?
You know, the fact that they're releasing it in 4K, whatever that is, means that there's a lot of fans. And I think I was in a special time when you could buy a movie for the first time and hold it and own it and play it a million times. And I think because Howard the Duck was probably on sale, it's sold a lot.
Currently, you and your daughter Zoe, also an actress, have teamed up on a podcast called A Total Switch Show, right? Where you tell the story of a mother and daughter who actually have switched bodies. What's that like when you're doing this with your actual daughter? How is working with Zoe?
Well, Zoe was the producer, so I was super proud that my daughter gave me a job. There's that. And it was also the first thing I did in COVID when we were all still kind of sequestered away. So it was really fun to act at that time and to make people laugh and to kind of create some entertainment, because during COVID, I really realized how important entertainment is, you know? That sometimes I don't think of our job as being important, but it is. And it's great to get people's heads out of whatever they're in that's not so great.
DBL Nation, don't forget to check out Leah's podcast, A Total Switch Show on Audible.
Yes.
Leah Thompson, thank you so much for chatting, and thank you for stopping by. I can't wait to listen. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Leah.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
People can now sign up to see if they qualify for $50 off their monthly internet through an FCC program. This has raised a lot of questions from viewers wondering how this process works. So we want to verify, does the FCC ask for personal information for its $50 broadband internet credit? With Verify, we show you who our sources are first. We spoke with Patrick Weber. He is the chief of the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau at the Federal Communications Commission. The main question we've received, do I need to provide my social security number? No, you don't need to, but it is an option. You can either provide your social security number, tribal ID number, or one of these forms of identification.
Things that would verify you as the person that you're saying you are, those are things that are required for the program.
Next, do I have to show my tax form? This is true. The FCC needs this for proof of how much income your household makes.
You would have to have an income below $99,000 for a single filer and below $198,000 for joint filers.
Is my credit card number or bank account number required? No, it is not. As long as you provide your tax form, the FCC will not ask for any more financial information.
They'll be able to get all the information they need from you and get you enrolled from their own website.
So we can verify. Yes, the FCC will ask for some personal information, but you will have options in what you provide. To apply, you can visit getemergencybroadband.org. Welcome back to DBL. If you're trying to get back into shape for summer, hello.
Me?
Here's some exercise tips in DBL's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. First up, you ready for this? Take ice cold baths or showers. They help you build resilience and improve your immune response. Brandon is shaking his head. Second, walk in the mornings and evenings. That helps align your natural circadian rhythm. That's true. This is really helpful. And finally, use steam rooms or saunas. They help you get rid of extra water and sodium to prevent bloating voting. Staying active is so important, and QB has made it easy regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-782-2351 or visit QB.com to learn more. We have someone on the chat here on YouTube that's related to you chiming in. We want to say hi to Lauren Granger, your sister.
Yeah, but I'm very upset with Lauren because she organized a family event. And y'all can let me know, if you live in a different state and your sister organized a big event with everyone in your family besides you and doesn't tell you, I just extend the courtesy just because. She didn't even tell me until it's happening tomorrow.
Lauren Granger, you're awesome.
So I am upset because she should just let me know out of courtesy, even though I wouldn't be going.
Lauren, if you have a response, you have about 10 seconds to write in, and we will get back to you. But
she said you'll catch me at the next one.
Oh.
That's her response.
And, you know, Tori can make the wristbands for everyone.
Right. Everyone's vaccinated. I don't get it.
You've got a purple wristband. Can't come in. I'm sorry, Ms. Granger.
You're out.
Marquita said Lindsay's upset. I'm not upset. I'm just airing my frustrations.
There you go. Just airing. Well, everyone have a wonderful weekend and be glad that things are turning around, right? Be good to each other. We're new every day. We'll see you Monday. Same time, same place. And we love you, DBL workers. We miss you and can't wait to see you. Bye, guys.
What we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
New guidance from the CDC about ditching masks raises a lot of questions. Our expert is setting the record straight. In today's Freedom Files, Wrongfully Convicted, a man spends 2 decades on death row before finally being set free.
It's life or death. This is what matters.
Plus, 80s Week continues with Mary Lou Henner live. Sherry Shepard is also here, and Don Cheadle and Regina Hall give us the behind-the-scenes scoop on their hit show.
I think the director yelled, "Cut, move the arm."
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Friday. Tori's already feeling it. May 14th. I'm Sam here with Tori and Al. You're feeling Friday?
Just feeling good. I feel like things are turning around in this world.
You know what? That leads to our very first story. It's finally here, the moment so many of us have been waiting for. Of course, we're talking about the new CDC guidance saying fully vaccinated people no longer need to wear masks or stay socially distant. So for many of us, it'll It'll come down to what state and local governments allow, but a lot of places are following suit and doing away with mask mandates inside. So this is a great day for people who are fully vaccinated. We've always been very open and transparent. We are all vaccinated here, but there are still a lot of questions, like how do you know who's really vaccinated or not? And what kind of proof will be required? And does this mean that vaccinated and unvaccinated people will be treated differently? What do you think, Al?
I mean, I think when you send your kid to school, you know, that's almost the only time that you know everybody in that building is vaccinated. But when you go anywhere else, a ball game, a restaurant, you don't know. There's a lot of people that are anti-vaxxers, have been, don't get themselves or their kids vaccinated, and you don't know when they're at the playground. So I think we've all made it this far not knowing, and you're not going to know unless there's a special handshake that I don't know about, Tori.
Well, there's some ideas of like, and this leads into a very interesting racial question of like a wristband, for instance, of like, hey, I'm wearing a mask, keep my distance, I would rather not get the vaccine, I'm going to wear a green wristband at school or something. And then if you have the vaccine, you get a red. But then it becomes this weird, like, do you start treating people differently in an odd way, right? Segregating them in a weird way. So I would like to ask before and just trust the answer. I'm not going to look for passports, like I said, but I am going to ask for people at my place, but I'll wear a mask just because I don't know.
I'm nervous about all this.
Yeah.
I really am. I have to be honest.
It's not easy.
I'm nervous about going into certain places and trusting that if someone's not in a mask, that they are doing it for the better good of the people around them.
Right.
You know how seriously we all take COVID, but I know that our viewers know it impacted my family severely. Currently, my brother-in-law is still in the ICU. Dr. Coley, who we're going to bring in a little bit, knows that story very well. So I just want to make sure that people take it as seriously as I do. So it's going to be tough for me to take people's word, but I want to do the same. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
And ease into it. We'll ease into it.
I'll say trust your gut, Sam. If you feel nervous or apprehensive, don't go in there.
I also have a 1-year-old, right, that I have to protect.
It's fine for you to be cautious.
All right. So what does the new CDC guidance mean for you? To help answer some of these questions, we are joined by our own medical expert, Dr. Pyle Coley. Okay, so
hey guys.
Hey,
so now that you're vaccinated, have you done a group hug yet, or
no?
That's weird.
Do you guys want to like Dr. Coley, but I haven't. Can we, Chris, touch hands or no?
Can we touch hands?
No, not because of
Yes,
technopolicy.
absolutely.
Don't do it.
Oh, but Dr. Coley, per technopolicy.
This is like when your mom and dad tell you two different things.
Okay.
I'm going with mom.
Dr. Coley, let's start with the biggest question that so many of us want to know. Does this mean the pandemic is finally over, at least for fully vaccinated people?
Almost, Sam, almost. We are almost there. So the pandemic is really going to be over for everyone, vaccinated or unvaccinated, when it's over all around the world. It's over in India, it's over in Europe and everywhere else, because that's when we're truly safe. But as you have seen, and we've been talking about, the power of the vaccine is going to allow us to get our lives back to normal. So if anyone ever needed an incentive to get the vaccine, this is it, because as soon as you get it, you get your freedoms back.
That's so good to hear. Well, Dr. Coley, I want to ask just what we were talking about earlier, and Sam said she's a bit nervous about. What if you are vaccinated and you're fine, but you're going to like a barbecue, a grocery store, a party I hope to be invited to one day? What would you do? Would you wear your mask?
Tori, I absolutely would wear my mask. And it's not so much because I'm at risk, because once I'm fully vaccinated, I am protected, from getting this from unvaccinated people. But it's really to create the culture that when you're in an unfamiliar situation where you can't verify that everybody there is vaccinated, you all really should be wearing the mask. And to what Sam just said, for example, if Miles was at this party, he can't wear a mask. He's only 1 year old. And so the rest of us have to make sure that the unvaccinated people are covered up to keep him protected.
Fair.
All right, well, this is near and dear to my heart. Doc, I have to ask you, what about kids in masks? Do kids still need to wear them, even if they're with their parents that are fully vaccinated?
Yes, they do, and this is going to be really tricky. I think we're in this weird transition period right now where we're starting to shift towards normal. Parents are vaccinated, but kids, especially those under the age of 12, Al, they're not even going to be eligible for the vaccine till probably fall of this year. So we absolutely have to encourage them to wear the mask, wash their hands, continue to do those mitigation measures, because they're the vulnerable population. And for that reason, some of the adults may still have to model that behavior by wearing the mask themselves. And my other fear is if that kids start losing the mask, the virus is going to shift into our kids. It's going to start to infect them at a higher rate. So we really have to be sure sure to all work together to keep them protected.
Well said, Dr. Coley. We really appreciate your expertise this entire time.
Think about Sam from day one.
I know.
When she was here and we were just hearing whispers of COVID
I know.
to this day.
I know.
And all that's been in between. And
She's
it's been
been our
Dr. Coley
advocate
the
from
whole
day
time.
one. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on DBL and helping to answer all of our questions. We love you.
Truly.
Well, here's a nightmare scenario for anyone. And I feel like this would happen to Tori.
Yes.
I've been thinking about this. California was sold the winning lottery ticket, meaning she won $26 million. But she says the winning ticket was destroyed in the washing machine. Lottery officials are investigating. Here's what a store employee said about it.
And so when she pulled it out, it was all crumpled up like in little pieces. And she said she frantically tried to put them all together, but she couldn't.
So what would you do? Tori, what would you do?
Okay, as if you all know, I'm a little, they call me Tornado Tori, a little all over the place. And what I would do is this. I would know that you can find out where the ticket was sold. I would go to the heads of the lotto and I'd say, find the surveillance camera of me at that store. Match the time. Try and show that the lottery is from the same paper. Maybe go to the same ream of where it is to prove I'm not giving up on $26 million and saying it's in the. Are you really sleeping?
It's $26 million.
Dude, it's high stakes, and that was a great story.
I fell asleep during your CSI breakdown of that.
You wouldn't CSI a $26 million lottery ticket?
Look, first of all, what setting is her washing machine on with destroyed paper like that?
Every setting. What are you talking about? If I ever leave a piece of paper in my pocket in the washing machine,
it shreds it to pieces
like
it's a ticker tape parade. No, look, I feel sorry for this woman, and I think, again, this is a lottery that we invented. So that means that we, the people, invented the rules. Should she get the whole 26? I would like to see her, but that's probably not going to happen.
Why?
But can we? Because rules, and they don't want to set precedent.
No,
but they could do something. They could do
Jackson.
If they broke her a check off for $10 million, we could all be done with this. And
Albert, no, they owe her another 16.
I agree.
But she doesn't have anything right now, Sam. I'm sure she'd take the 10.
CSI it. You can CSI with technology.
In 2021, we can CSI it. Thank you very much. Do not give up, miss.
Tori's case dismissed. Guarantee you.
Winning.
Coming up on DBL, we are rounding out 80s week with actress Lou Henner. Did she really date two of her Taxi co-stars? Plus, Cheadle and Regina are here and share why they love working with each other so much. And we're talking to former View co-host Sherry Shepherd. Does she still keep in touch with her old co-workers? We're going to find out coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Across the country, there are visuals like this. People waiting in long lines to fill up at the pump. But there's a lot of misconceptions and straight up misinformation out there. So let's verify 3 fuel facts you need to know. Our sources are Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy and Ken Medlock from the Center for Energy Studies at Rice University. Let's start here. Was this actually a shortage? DeHaan says that despite a lot of confusion saying otherwise, it's actually not.
This issue was a delivery issue. Almost like UPS or FedEx couldn't deliver a package for a few days.
In other words, there's plenty of gas out there, it's just not getting to the consumer. Okay, here's our next question. Why are prices so high right now? AAA says the average price is $3 a gallon nationwide. This time last year, it was $1.85. Our experts say that the gas prices have actually been trending upward since November of last year.
Americans are hitting the road and demand has continued to increase. That is why we're seeing prices go up.
But Medlock tells us that on top of all that, we did see gas prices go up as a result of the pipeline issue.
That 10 to 15 cent move we've seen, depending on where you are, is really the result of the pipeline going down.
Okay, question 3. If you're looking to stock up on gas, how long can you keep it?
The shelf life, 3 to 6 months. It really depends on the time of year, the type of fuel, where you're getting it.
But that assumes that you're using an approved fuel container, which is the safe way to do it. Our experts urge you not to be like the people in these viral videos.
A CVS bag, seriously?
Do not transport gasoline with bottles, milk cartons, or plastic bags.
Do not do that. That is incredibly dangerous.
With your Verify, this is Evan Kozloff.
Welcome back to DBL. Actress and comedian Sherri Shepherd is literally living her best life and encouraging us all to do the same. Earlier, Lindsay and Al caught up with her and cardiologist Suzanne Steinbaum to inspire all of us to get heart healthy.
Well done.
Welcome to DBL. So you've teamed up with the American Heart Association and CVS to promote heart health. And you're leading by example because you both look amazing and all three of us are wearing red. Yay! So Sherri, you recently posted this video of you dancing to celebrate your impressive weight loss transformation. Congratulations, but I gotta ask you, what worked for you, and do you have any tips for me that are game-changing?
Absolutely. I would say it's really what you ingest and how much you move. So literally look at what you're eating and make healthy choices. That's what I had to do. I had to incorporate more fruits and vegetables, put down the salt and pepper shaker. I had to put down the sugar and say, you know what, broccoli maybe doesn't work when you're breaking up with your boyfriend, but it works better in the long run with your health. You got to get your heart moving. And after that, so many good things happen. So it was so exciting for me because I teamed up with the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women to educate myself on heart disease and how to prevent it. I didn't know it was the #1 killer amongst women.
Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum, I want to ask you, when it comes to heart health, is it important for women to know our numbers? And if so, explain what that means and share with us why these numbers are so important.
As we say in the American Heart Association, know your numbers, meaning know your risk factors so we can prevent heart disease as early as we can. Those numbers include cholesterol, your HDL, which is your good cholesterol, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. And knowing those numbers empowers you to understand where you need to make changes in your life to prevent heart disease. Here's the thing. 80% of the time, heart disease is preventable.
I mean, this story is near and dear to my heart, guys. This is Al Jackson. I just want to say thank you, Sherri, for doing this. You know, I lost my father because of heart disease, and it's affected a lot of women in my family. And, you know, as a lot of black folks don't like to go to the doctor, there are reasons for that. But especially people from a certain generation, it's tough to get them to go, and especially to know their numbers. I cannot believe you celebrated your 54th birthday with some amazing women, including some of your celebrity friends and some women behind your new exciting sitcom, Black Don't Crack. What can you tell us more about this project?
I'm working with Viola Davis on Black Don't Crack, which is exciting. And I take my girlfriends go with me on this health journey. That's what helped me.
I agree. We got to get everyone to go to the doctor to get their numbers checked. But I just want to say every day this week, CVS Health is offering no-cost screenings. So now there's no excuse. You don't even have to go to your doctor. You can just walk into a CVS and get these numbers.
So I want to talk to you, Sherri, about not only being a talk show veteran, but you also have a new podcast called Two Funny Mamas with comedian Kim Whitley.
Cleveland.
Plus, you're the newest co-host on Dish Nation. So do you keep in touch with any of your former co-hosts from The View?
Oh, are you kidding me? I call Whoopi up all the time. I'm always kikiing it with Joy Behar. Sunny Hostin, we text like nonstop. I miss my girls on The View. I scream at the TV every single day, and I text Whoopi, and I go, Whoopi, say this. And she goes, if you don't leave me alone, leave me alone. So I'm always in touch with those ladies. That's my family.
That's amazing. We have a DBL family here, so I can totally relate. Sherri Shepherd and Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum, thank you so much for joining us. And DBL Nation, visit cvshealth.com/GoRed to learn more about heart health and the American Heart Association's Go Red campaign. We'll be right back.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
After being criticized for being too cautious, the CDC has done an about-face on face masks. So why the change? Turns out vaccines are that good. Let's connect the dots. Some of the criticism the CDC has faced was it was underselling vaccines by not allowing vaccinated people more freedom. That's because the data we now have on the COVID vaccines show they are extremely effective in preventing severe disease. Experts now have more than just the results of the clinical trials. They have real-world data. One reason the CDC was cautious was because of concerns that even vaccinated people could still spread the disease. But as more shots are going into arms, it looks like that is not common. One real-world study found that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines help prevent transmission, not just symptoms. So now the focus moves from face masks to encouraging everybody to get vaccinated.
Oh, Rob, with that camera work. Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, I got a chance to talk to one of my heroes, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. They both stopped by DBL to tell us about their show's newest season and what it's been like working together. First, how about you take a sneak peek at season 3 of Black Monday?
Double D. Looks like you're doing pretty good, huh?
I get way more respect in here than I ever did from the outside.
I think it might be time to sell that Nintendo stock you put me in.
No, it's gonna be huge. Now, who does have to shift to give a hot pastrami on ride from Carnegie's up in here, okay?
That was an early look at the new season of Black Monday. Season 3 is back on Showtime later this month. So excited. And we are talking to the stars and producers, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. Welcome to DBL. Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
We can't wait to jump in, but first, Don, you shared a picture on Instagram just last month that caught our eye because it's a flyer from your school, your high school, and their jazz concert. Well, we realize we live literally like a stone's throw from there. Our studio is that close to your old stomping grounds. So now that we have you here and we're actually pulling up that very flyer, we got to know, what were you like back then?
I think perfect in every way. That's what I've been told anyway. Look at me, mime. You got the mime show up. I was, as advertised, a clown. I mean, and it's continued to this day. I always, acting and music were kind of running neck and neck for me when I graduated high school. And I think I made a weather choice and came to Los Angeles, and I'm glad I did, or else I wouldn't have met Regina and we wouldn't have been doing Black Monday. So.
Yeah, Don, I think you made the right choice. Just a quick review of your career. You're doing okay.
I'm doing all right.
I'm a fan. Regina, I'm a fan of you. And also, it's kind of cool that we share a similar career path because we were both former teachers. I wanted to ask you, do you ever hear from any of your former students?
Ironically, I did this movie a long time ago called Paid in Full.
I'm familiar.
And the student, Pat Porter, who I played, unbeknownst to me, the girl, she went to the school that I taught at college in New Rochelle. She was a student. And she said, "You were so mean." But I wasn't really mean. I was really strict because I wanted the students to take me serious because, we were similar in age range. So yeah, Patricia Porter, that was the irony of that, to be talking to her before as a student at the school, and then to be asking her about her life to portray her.
That's so cool.
Every now and then, yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk Black Monday. Congratulations, season 3. Like you said, Don, you guys go way back, and we know you guys love working together. But what gets on your nerves about each other? Is there a little quirk with each of you guys that you don't like about each other?
I mean, it sounds like, of course, there's a bunch of platitudes to say, no, I love Regina. She's my favorite co-star ever. But it really is true. We don't. I mean, we famously get along very well. Regina only gets upset with me when my character on the show has a love interest. That's not her.
I do.
She gets pretty upset about that. Yeah.
And I really do get upset. Like, I really do. Like, if they're around, I'm like, I think the director yelled cut. Move the arm. It is true, but I love Don. I probably harass him a little bit. But outside of that, it really is it's like a joy. I look forward to it.
I love it.
Right. I was going to say, Regina, I just had to, tell our viewers, we just did a show right before this interview, that Sam, my co-host, and I do not argue with each other because we get all these tweets like, you guys are so mean to each other. But when you're close and you're with each other for 6 hours a day, you literally are like brother and sister. Yes. And so we bicker, and then I don't realize the viewers think we hate each other.
But we love each other.
No, and we're on this show. It's not out of the question for us to be on set for 12 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are common TV hours. 10 to 14 hours is just what we do every day. So obviously, if you're in conditions with people that you don't like, that's really, really tricky.
It's hard.
Yeah, but I've been very blessed. I think we've been very blessed to not have that. And our cast is, we're incredibly close.
The new season of Black Monday premieres May 23rd, only on Showtime. It looks really, really good. Thank you so much, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. Once again, we appreciate you both.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
People can now sign up to see if they qualify for $50 off their monthly internet through an FCC program. This has raised a lot of questions from viewers wondering how this process works. So we want to verify, does the FCC ask for personal information for its $50 broadband internet credit? With Verify, we show you who our sources are first. We spoke with Patrick Weber. He is the chief of the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau at the Federal Communications Commission. The main question we've received, do I need to provide my social security number? No, you don't need to, but it is an option. You can either provide your social security number, tribal ID number, or one of these forms of identification.
The things that would verify you as the person that you're saying you are, those are things that are required for the program.
Next, do I have to show my tax form? This is true. The FCC needs this for proof of how much income your household makes.
You would have to have an income below $99,000 for a single filer and below $198,000 for joint filers.
Is my credit card number or bank account number required? No, it is not. As long as you provide your tax form, the FCC will not ask for any more financial information.
They'll be able to get all the information they need from you and get you enrolled from their own website.
So we can verify. Yes, the FCC will ask for some personal information, but you will have options in what you provide. To apply, you can visit getemergencybroadband.org.
Next week on DBL, we're throwing it back to the 90s with your favorite sitcom stars, Melissa Joan Hart, Kim Fields, Karen Parsons, even Urkel himself, Jaleel White. Plus, Tom Arnold's family secrets we never knew about. His own sister dubbed the Queen of Meth.
There's no way for it to go except prison or death.
And one musician's courageous fight against racism, convincing KKK members to renounce their hatred.
If one of those types of people is willing to sit down and have a conversation with you, it's hard to hate somebody when you're right there face to face.
That's all next week only on DBL.
So good. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. We are wrapping up a week of your favorite stars of the 80s. There's she! Cannot wait to talk to her. Plus, new details about the upcoming Friends reunion that everyone's talking about. And thank you to our co-workers watching from home right now. We have Chin Chin. We appreciate all of you. We miss you. DBL's new every day. We will be right back.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Thank you, Chris. Welcome to DBL. If you only knew what was happening behind the scenes.
Harassing our cameraman.
I'm Sam here with Tori and Al. Let's get started. So they've set the date. The highly anticipated Friends reunion will air on May 27th. HBO Max released this first look at the special, which featured the backs of all 6 cast members. Very dramatic.
It's like they were all killed in a car accident. Why are they showing this?
It's really bad. It's bad.
The special had been delayed multiple times because of the pandemic, but the cast members were finally able to reunite on the show's original soundstage on the Warner Brothers lot. We also know who was invited to the party. The guest list includes David Beckham, Justin Bieber, K-pop group BTS, Lady Gaga, and Malala Yousafzai, just to name a few. Okay, what do you make of this? First of all, the bizarre guest list, but then also that very dark promo.
Okay, so first off, it's not going to be like a normal, like, ding dong, I'm in Chandler's apartment, could I be more annoying? It's a sit down, talk out thing. While you know what I'm talking about, right? And they're going to have people in the audience like Bieber asking questions, and then they're going to have people like Tom Selleck, who were on the shows, coming on as guests, like cameos. So I think that'll be interesting. But what I found fascinating is a lot of my millennial friends, and I do have some, they binge this show because they never saw it live. They see it syndicated as like their Cheers. So Malala Yousafzai, I bet you at Oxford, binged the heck out of Friends.
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? She's like, they were on a break.
You know what? My son binges Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
See what I mean?
It's so interesting. Yeah, it's weird how the shows resonate like a decade later.
Right?
And it never hit me. I watched Cheers on reruns.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you looking forward to this?
I don't know what this is. I don't know what the.
Yeah, there's no black people on Friends.
If they came in here and shot me, I'd be like, 7 rich people came in and took me out. I don't know who they are.
That apartment was ridiculous.
Dude,
I know they were roommates, but that's a $3 million apartment.
New York City had 0 people of color for all 10 years. No black people at all in that show.
Have you been to the Upper East Side? Okay.
All right. Prince Harry is opening up about his mental health and what it was like for him growing up as a royal. So Harry spoke to Dax Shepard on his Armchair Expert podcast, where he compared royal life to being on The Truman Show or in a zoo. He also talked about how he sought out therapy to deal with the trauma he experienced when his mother, Princess Diana, died, and talked about his upbringing as well. Have a listen.
When it comes to parenting, if I've experienced some form of pain or suffering because of the pain or suffering that perhaps my father or my parents had suffered, I'm going to make sure that I break that cycle so that I don't pass it on, basically. There's a lot of genetic pain and suffering that gets passed on anyway.
Yeah, and
we, as parents, we should be doing the most that we can to try and say, you know what, that happened to me, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
Beautifully said. It's called generational trauma, and it is real, and we all deal with it. And, you know, from what we learned from Meghan Markle, when she talked about her trauma and her wanting to seek mental, help, they did not allow that, allegedly, according to her. So what do you make of him speaking so freely about this? This is unprecedented.
Huge break. And again, his mother in the secret tapes, when she delivered and recorded them, also spoke about her bulimia and said she needed help and no one was there. She was all alone. That's all she kept saying. No one would help her out from the castle or the industry that it is. And just know, the English monarchy goes back to 1066. And it's parents that didn't really love their wives that had children so that they could have a bloodline to pass down. So this sense of parenting is brand new. And I don't think Charles had a good upbringing. I think they were very stern. They were to be seen and not heard. So this is huge.
I think you could make the argument that parenting, especially for men, is kind of, might be in our second generation, where men know how to braid their daughter's hair. There's more, there's pictures of Mark and Sophie before Miles came along by themselves at the park while mom is at work. This is relatively new. So, I mean, I think that, just learning to parent and love and be okay with making mistakes and saying I need some mental health, something seems wrong, it's going to be okay. And he's figuring that out probably for the first time ever in that bloodline. So good on him.
He is breaking that stigma. Okay, so coming up on DBL, a man, this is a very serious story, spent 20 years on death row for a crime he did not commit, how he finally got out in an all-new Freedom Files, wrongfully convicted. But first, we're talking. There she is.
Yes.
Live with Mary Lou Henner. We cannot wait. Don't go away.
Nice earrings.
Closed captioning provided by...
Across the country, there are visuals like this. People waiting in long lines to fill up at the pump. But there's a lot of misconceptions and straight up misinformation out there. So let's verify 3 fuel facts you need to know. Our sources are Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy and Ken Medlock from the Center for Energy Studies at Rice University. Let's start here. Was this actually a shortage? DeHaan says that despite a lot of confusion saying otherwise, it's actually not.
This issue was a delivery issue. Almost like UPS or FedEx couldn't deliver a package for a few days.
In other words, there's plenty of gas out there, it's just not getting to the consumer. Okay, here's our next question. Why are prices so high right now? AAA says the average price is $3 a gallon nationwide. This time last year, it was $1.85. Our experts say that the gas prices have actually been trending upward since November of last year.
Americans are hitting the road and demand has continued to increase. That is why we're seeing prices go up.
But Medlock tells us that on top of all that, we did see gas prices go up as a result of the pipeline issue.
That 10 to 15 cent move we've seen, depending on where you are, is really the result of the pipeline going down.
Okay, question 3. If you're looking to stock up on gas, how long can you keep it?
The shelf life, 3 to 6 months. It really depends on the time of year, the type of fuel, where you're getting it.
But that assumes that you're using an approved fuel container, which is the safe way to do it. Our experts urge you not to be like the people in these viral videos.
A CVS bag, seriously?
Do not transport gasoline with bottles, milk cartons, or plastic bags.
Do not do that. That is incredibly dangerous.
With your Verify, this is Evan Kozlov.
Scene, of course, from Taxi. Mary Lou Henner got her big break on the groundbreaking sitcom. The show picked up 18 Emmy Awards and made stars out of Mary Lou, Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd, Judd Hirsch, Danny DeVito, and, of course, the late Andy Kaufman. Mary Lou Henner joined. Yes! Welcome, Mary Lou. We are all big
party.
Oh, okay. It's always
Friday.
she's in. It is Friday. Yes. Welcome to the party. Let's get right to it. You've been open about how you dated both Tony Danza and Judd Hirsch while you were shooting Taxi. How did you keep things civil on the set? And after looking at that picture of you and Danny DeVito, I gotta wonder, was Danny DeVito the better kisser or the other two that you dated?
Well, okay, first of all, I love that you picked that episode because that's my favorite episode of all times. It's called Shut It Down, parts 1 and 2. It really was an incredible episode. And Danny's a blast and a great kisser, as was Burt Reynolds and all the other men that I got to kiss being an actress. You know what? Here's the thing. It was 77 guys and me. Tony and I started dating like right away within the first couple of weeks. Then we kind of broke up because I knew he was going to be wild. He knew I was going to be wild. Ooh. And then Judd and I found ourselves in a relationship. And even though we all broke up, we are like still best friends. We just did our 11th Zoom during the pandemic. We just did it last Sunday to celebrate Jim Brooks's birthday. Yeah. And Tony had us doing like an American Idol, judging cops singing and kids singing and performing and everything else. I see these guys all the time. We're totally current with one another. And I'm the kind of person who breaks up with people and then I invite them to one of my weddings. You know, I don't stay mad at people. They don't stay mad at me. I just feel like there are so few people that you fall madly in love with in your life. There's a reason that you do, and why lose a certain connection? Plus, we were all in the trenches together, so it was easy.
That's mature.
Yeah, I mean, it's mature. It's so weird. I think, you know, that's what you should look for when you have a new partner is like, how do you and your exes get along? Because if you don't speak to any of your exes and you hate each other,
red flag,
I think that's a bad sign. I think it's because it's like, hey, we had an adult discussion and we went our different ways, but we like each other. Beautiful. Yep. All right. Now I'm asking this. Yeah. I am asking this as a professional comic and somebody that is obsessed with Andy Kaufman. He played Locke on Taxi. Oh. He was an eccentric, but obviously a brilliant comedian. But I have to know, because only you know this, what was the real Andy like?
Well, you know, don't think he was anything like Jim Carrey played him in Man on the Moon, because Jim was always like on and a little crazy. And if you saw the documentary Jim and Andy, you understand that he sort of had his own agenda going with that part. Andy was like a sweet boy next door from Great Neck. He considered himself a song and dance man. We talked a lot about musical theater. He was always singing and dancing. Definitely, he was a provocateur. Definitely, he would do anything to stir up the audience and do crazy things, but he knew every second of the day what it was that he was doing, you know, and that was his brilliance. It's not like he was always a little wild, you know, he was totally normal and then would do something a little insane.
He's amazing.
I miss him. He was great.
He reminds me a little bit of Sacha Baron Cohen. Has that really detailed provocateur in him, right? I think that's better than Jim Carrey. I agree with you. Okay, first off, you're my favorite movie of all time. Noise is Off. I had to say it. My parents would be so mad.
She said it during the commercial break as well.
I'm so thrilled to meet you. Really, it's such an honor to meet you. Number one, Carol Burnett. Anyway, I wanted to ask you this. You have something very fascinating about yourself, and it's called Highly Superior Autobiographical Memory. I couldn't remember it, so I had to read it, which is embarrassing. So I'm gonna, there's like 100 people in the world that have this, right? So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna give you a date, and I want you to recall what happened, okay?
Wait, can you tell everybody really quickly what that is?
You literally can't, yeah, but why doesn't Mary Lou tell us?
Okay, basically, I remember every day of my life, but I remember what happened to me. Not so much world events, not so much, what show. It's through my eyes. It's like my autobiographical memory. So I'm not a trivia expert. It's not like you can give me something that happened in history all the time. Do you know what I mean? So it depends. Your mouth is open, so obviously that's where you guys were going.
Yeah,
why don't we do somebody's birthday?
That's
great. That's great. Let's do each other's.
6th, 1980.
One of your birthdays.
August 6th, 1980.
I'm sorry, what?
August 6th, 1980.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So August 6th, 1980 was a Wednesday, right? Yes. August 6th, 1980. Oh, you know what I did? I saw the movie Fame that day.
Do you know that?
I saw the movie Fame that day.
That's insane.
And you could look, it was like in the movie theater. Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
And I was, weren't you born on a Wednesday?
Yes, I was. No, I was.
Born on a Wednesday.
I was born on a Wednesday.
Okay, try January 12th, 1982. Can you do that?
Yes. January 12th, 1982 was a Tuesday.
That's right.
Right?
I was born on a Tuesday.
Unbelievable.
January 12th, 1982. Yes. And I was shooting Taxi, trying to think, Tuesday. What episode were we in the middle of? Oh, it was like our 4th season, which was one of my favorite seasons. And so we were getting ready to do the Ted Danson one, but then it was postponed, so we waited a couple weeks to do it.
I wonder what it looks like in your brain,
works.
right? It's like calendars,
it's
images.
like I'm back.
Wow, unbelievable.
You know what it is? It's like I'm catapulted. It's like a time travel, and I'm back in the day. And like when you said August 6th, it's like I'm there.
Fascinating.
I'm there, and
amazing.
I know what happened.
I wish we could talk to you longer.
So I mean, you might have been able to ask me those other, whatever you had in mind. But I've been on shows where people have said like blah blah blah. And it's like that was, I don't know, or a sports question.
Mary Lou, we're gonna have to have you come back on DBL whenever you're in Denver. Please come here physically at the panel, and we adore you. You can also catch Mary Lou.
We have so much. But let me tell you something. Yes. I've been watching your show like this whole time. Oh yeah, that's on June the 13th, Aurora Tea Garden on June 13th on the Hallmark Murders and Mystery Channel. So that's gonna be. But you guys are a blast. Every single thing you're talking about, I want to like sit there with you for a day.
Be on the panel.
And like hang out and talk.
Anytime. And she gave her own plug. She's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Wow, you belong here. We'll be right back. Thank you, Mary Lou.
She's done. Amazing.
After being criticized for being too cautious, the CDC has done an about-face on face masks. So why the change? Turns out vaccines are that good. Let's connect the dots. Some of the criticism the CDC has faced was it was underselling vaccines by not allowing vaccinated people more freedom. That's because the data we now have on the COVID vaccines show they are extremely effective in preventing severe disease. Experts now have more than just the results of the clinical trials, they have real-world data. One reason the CDC was cautious was because of concerns that even vaccinated people could still spread the disease. But as more shots are going into arms, it looks like that is not common. One real-world study found that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines help prevent transmission, not just symptoms. So now the focus moves from face masks to encouraging everybody to get vaccinated.
Welcome back to DBL. He spent 2 decades locked away in a cage. At one point, he came within 3 days of dying for a crime he never committed. In today's Freedom Files, we speak with Joe D'Ambrosio about his remarkable road to freedom and the one person who helped him get there.
September 24th, 1988. The stabbed body of 19-year-old Anthony Klan is found floating in a creek in Cleveland, Ohio.
Now, everybody involved in this case at one time or another worked for the landscaping company.
26-year-old Joe D'Ambrosio is the newest to the company, having known the team for less than a month.
And they're saying that the night that we were in the bars is the night that he died. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no.
The company's foreman, Edward Espinoza, he lays out a fabricated story that involves Joe and the company's owner, Michael Keenan.
Espinoza is pointing his finger at me and Keenan, saying he stood there and watched while me and Keenan killed this kid.
Joe is charged with aggravated murder, kidnapping, and aggravated burglary. Espinoza takes a deal, pleading guilty to manslaughter, and testifies against Joe.
He said that Mike cut his throat, pushed him in the creek, and then Mike turned around and handed me the knife, jumped into this creek, chased Anthony down, and stabbed him 3 times in the chest.
Espinoza says the murder was over an argument about missing drugs.
The only defense that I put up was me.
But Joe struggles while on the stand.
So they threw me up there cold and let the prosecutor have at me. Tore me up.
Joe is found guilty and sentenced to death. Locked in his cage for 23 hours a day, Joe passes the time by working on his case.
It's life or death. You know, this is what matters.
Joe shares his story with a death row inmate who has a unique pen pal.
When I first started writing to death row inmates, I was writing one guy, and Keith Hennis was that guy. And Keith would literally tell me about the inmates that were in the cells around him.
While reading the obituaries in the local paper, Father Neil notices Joe's mother and decides to attend her funeral. He meets with Joe in prison afterwards.
And he's trying to explain my mom's funeral to me. And I'm thanking him profusely, but I'm saying, you gotta help me. I didn't do this. And he's like, no, I can't.
But Father Neil's interest peaks after he hears the length of Joe's trial.
Father Neil's not just a priest. He's a registered nurse and an attorney. And I'm going for the attorney in him.
And when Joe told me that he had the shortest death penalty case in the history of Ohio, and that a capital case that would take somebody's life was memorialized in one volume, I'm like, that's not possible.
Father Neil spends the next 14 years investigating Joe's case. In 2006, 17 years after being found guilty, Joe is granted a new trial.
85% of the evidence that freed me was in 3 places: prosecutor's file, police file, and coroner's file. And it was there all along. And they hid it.
In 2012, after 20 years on death row and another 3 trying to clear his name, Joe is finally a free man.
Joe, welcome to DBL. I'm going to start off with this question for you. The killer, the actual killer in your case, has never been brought to justice. And you've said that this murder will always be a cold case. I want to know from you why you think that.
Well, there's actually two murderers in this case. One was my co-defendant, and he died. The second one is a guy, we're not even sure if he's still alive or not. Last we knew of was 12 years ago when I was going through my retrial. And the reason they won't go after him is because if they go after him, they have to get their checkbook out and pay me.
Yes.
Because it shows that they should never came after me.
I've got a hypothetical for you, Joe. Let's say Father Neil never got involved in your case. Do you believe you'd still be in prison right now?
No, I'd be dead. I'd be dead.
You'd be dead.
Wow.
If Father Neil didn't come into my life, they would have executed me easily 17 years ago and not even batted an eye. Father Neil is not only a priest, He's a registered nurse and he's an attorney. He had to be all three things to do what he did for me. If he was only two of the three, it never would have worked.
Why would him missing one of those have affected you and your case overall?
If he wasn't the priest, he wouldn't have initially been writing the inmate in the cell next to me. If he wasn't the attorney, he wouldn't have caught on to the things that I was telling him. And he needed to be the nurse, because the very first thing, when I first talked him into helping me, he read through my trial transcript and he read it that night. And as he was reading it, he came across the coroner's testimony about Anthony Clan's throat being cut. Espinoza, my co-defendant, said that he was running down a creek after his throat was cut, screaming, "Please don't kill me, please don't kill me." Well, he was a critical care nurse for over 15 years. He knows if your throat is compromised,
don't scream, right?
You can't scream, you can't do anything. And on top of that, he had 650 milliliters of blood in his lungs and stomach. So if anything, he was drowning in his own blood, not screaming for help.
Wow. And running.
Like, wait a minute, this is so wrong. Wow. And if this is so wrong, what else is wrong?
Joe, thank you so much for joining DBL. We really appreciate you taking the time. We'll be right back.
No problem.
Thanks,
you have
Joe.
a good day.
You too.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
People can now sign up to see if they qualify for $50 off their monthly internet through an FCC program. This has raised a lot of questions from viewers wondering how this process works. So we want to verify, does the FCC ask for personal information for its $50 broadband internet credit? With Verify, we show you who our sources are first. We spoke with Patrick Weber. He is the chief of the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau at the Federal Communications Commission. The main question we've received, do I need to provide my social security number? No, you don't need to, but it is an option. You can either provide your social security number, tribal ID number, or one of these forms of identification.
The things that would verify you as the person that you're saying you are, those are things that are required for the program.
Next, do I have to show my tax form? This is true. The FCC needs this for proof of how much income your household makes.
You would have to have an income below $99,000 for a single filer and below $198,000 for joint filers.
Is my credit card number or bank account number required? No, it is not. As long as you provide your tax form, the FCC will not ask for any more financial information.
They'll be able to get all the information they need from you and get you enrolled from their own website.
So we can verify. Yes, the FCC will ask for some personal information, but you will have options in what you provide. To apply, you can visit getemergencybroadband.org.
Welcome back to DBL. If you're trying to get back into shape for summer, here are some tips in DBL's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. First, take ice cold baths or showers. They help you build resilience and improve your immune response. Really? Ooh. Second, walk in the mornings and evenings. That helps your circadian rhythm, which is sleep. Finally, steam rooms or saunas help you get rid of extra water and sodium and prevent bloating. Staying active is so important, and QB has made it easy. Try their under-desk elliptical at home, 1-800-782-2351, or you can visit QB.com to learn more.
QB in front of the TV for 1 hour, and you're good to go.
Nice. DBL's new every day. Happy Friday, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
New guidance from the CDC about ditching masks raises a lot of questions. Our expert is setting the record straight. In today's Freedom Files, Wrongfully Convicted, a man spends 2 decades on death row before finally being set free.
It's life or death. Well, this is what matters.
Plus, 80s Week continues with Mary Lou Henner live. Sherry Shepherd is also here, and Don Cheadle and Regina Hall give us the behind-the-scenes scoop on their hit show.
I think the director yelled cut. Move the arm.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Friday. Tori's already feeling it. May 14th. I'm Sam here with Tori and Al. You're feeling Friday?
Just feeling good. I feel like things are turning around in this world.
You know what? That leads to our very first story. It's finally here, the moment so many of us have been waiting for. Of course, we're talking about the new CDC guidance saying fully vaccinated people no longer need to wear masks or stay socially distant. So for many of us, it'll come down to what state and local governments allow, but a lot of places are following suit and doing away with mask mandates inside. So this is a great day for people who are fully vaccinated. We've always been very open and transparent. We are all vaccinated here, but there are still a lot of questions like, how do you know who's really vaccinated or not? And what kind of proof will be required? And does this mean that vaccinated and unvaccinated people will be treated differently? What do you think, Al?
I mean, I think when you send your kid to school, you don't, you know, that's almost the only time that you know everybody in that building is vaccinated. But when you go anywhere else, a ball game, a restaurant, you don't know. There's a lot of people that are anti-vaxxers, don't get themselves or their kids vaccinated, and you don't know when they're at the playground. So I think we've all made it this far not knowing, and you're not going to know unless there's a special handshake that I don't know about, Tori.
Well, there's some ideas of like, and this leads into a very interesting racial question of like a wristband, for instance, of like, hey, I'm wearing a mask, keep my distance, I would rather not get the vaccine, I'm gonna wear a green wristband at school or something. And then if you have the vaccine, you get a red. But then it becomes this weird, like, do you start treating people differently in an odd way, right? Segregating them in a weird way. So I would like to ask before and just trust the answer. I'm not going to look for passports, like I said, but I am going to ask for people at my place, but I'll wear a mask just because I don't know.
I'm nervous about all this.
Yeah.
I really am. I have to be honest.
It's not easy. I'm
nervous about going into certain places and trusting that if someone's not in a mask, that they are doing it for the better good of the people around them.
Right.
You know how seriously we all take COVID, but I know that it, you know, our viewers know it impacted my family severely. Currently, my brother-in-law is still in the ICU. Dr. Coley, who we're going to bring in a little bit, knows that story very well. So I just want to make sure that people take it as seriously as I do. So it's going to be tough for me to take people's word, but I want to do the same. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
And ease into it. We'll ease into it.
Also, trust your gut, Sam. If you feel nervous or apprehensive, don't go in there.
I also have a 1-year-old, right, that I have to protect.
It's fine for you to be cautious.
All right. So what does the new CDC guidance mean for you? To help answer some of these questions, we are joined by our own medical expert, Dr. Pyle Coley. Dr. Coley! Okay, so
hey guys.
Hey,
so now that you're vaccinated, have you done a group hug yet, or
no?
That's weird.
Do you guys want to like Dr. Coley, but I haven't. Can we, Chris, touch hands or no?
Can we touch hands?
Not because of
yes,
technopolicy.
Don't absolutely.
Don't do it. Oh, but Dr. Coley, per technopolicy.
This is like when your mom and dad tell you two different things.
Okay.
I'm going with mom.
Dr. Coley, let's start with the biggest question that so many of us want to know. Does this mean the pandemic is finally over, at least for fully vaccinated people?
Almost, Sam, almost. We are almost there. So the pandemic is really going to be over for everyone, vaccinated or unvaccinated, when it's over all around the world. It's over in India, it's over in Europe and everywhere else, because that's when we're truly safe. But as you have seen, and we've been talking about, the power of the vaccine is going to allow us to get our lives back to normal. So if anyone ever needed an incentive to get the vaccine, this is it, because as soon as you get it, you get your freedoms back.
That's so good to hear. Well, Dr. Coley, I want to ask just what we were talking about earlier, and Sam said she's a bit nervous about. What if you are vaccinated and you're fine, but you're going to like a barbecue, a grocery store, you know, a party I hope to be invited to one day? What would you do? Would you wear your mask?
You know, Tori, I absolutely would wear my mask. And it's not so much because I'm at risk, because once I'm fully vaccinated, I am protected, you know, from getting this from unvaccinated people. But it's really to create the culture that when you're in an unfamiliar situation where you can't verify that everybody there is vaccinated, you all really should be wearing the mask. And to what Sam just said, for example, if Miles was at this party, you know, he can't wear a mask. He's only 1 year old. And so the rest of us have to make sure that the unvaccinated people are covered up to keep him protected.
Fair.
All right, well, this is the near and dear to my heart. Doc, I have to ask you, what about kids in masks? Do kids still need to wear them even if they're with their parents that are fully vaccinated?
Yes, they do, and this is going to be really tricky. I think we're in this weird transition period right now where we're starting to shift towards normal. Parents are vaccinated, but kids, especially those under the age of 12, Al, they're not even going to be eligible for the vaccine till probably fall of this year. So we absolutely have to encourage them to wear the mask, wash their hands, continue to do those mitigation measures, because they're the vulnerable population. And for that reason, some of the adults may still have to model that behavior by wearing the mask themselves. And my other fear is if that kids start losing the mask, the virus is going to shift into our kids. It's going to start to infect them at a higher rate. So we really have to be sure to all work together to keep them protected.
Well said, Dr. Coley. We really appreciate your expertise this entire time.
Think about Sam from day one.
I know.
When she was here and we were just hearing whispers of COVID to this day.
I know.
And all that's been in between. And
She's been our advocate from day one. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on DBL and helping to answer all of our questions. We love you.
Truly.
Well, here's a nightmare scenario for anyone. And I feel like this would happen to Tori.
Yes.
I've been thinking about this. California was sold the winning lottery ticket, meaning she won $26 million. But she says the winning ticket was destroyed in the washing machine. Lottery officials are investigating. Here's what a store employee said about it.
And so when she pulled it out, it was all crumpled up like in little pieces. And she said she frantically tried to put them all together, but she couldn't.
So what would you do? Tori, what would you do?
Okay, as if you all know, I'm a little, they call me Tornado Tori, a little all over the place. And what I would do is this. I would know that you can find out where the ticket was sold. I would go to the heads of the lotto and I'd say, find the surveillance camera of me at that store. Match the time. Try and show that the lottery is from the same paper. Maybe go to the same ream of where it is to prove I'm not giving up on $26 million and saying it's in the. Are you really sleeping?
It's $26 million.
Dude, it's high stakes, and that was a great story.
I fell asleep during your CSI breakdown of that.
You wouldn't CSI a $26 million lottery ticket?
Look, first of all, what setting is her washing machine on where it destroyed paper like that?
Every setting. What are you talking about? If I ever leave a piece of paper in my pocket in the washing machine, it
shreds it to pieces
like
it's a ticker tape parade. No, look, I feel sorry for this woman, and I think, again, this is a lottery that we invented. So that means that we, the people, invented the rules. Should she get the whole 26? I would like to see her, but that's probably not going to happen.
Why?
But can we? Because rules, and they don't want to set precedent.
No,
but they could do something. They could do
Jackson.
If they broke her a check off for $10 million, we could all be done with this.
Albert, no, they owe her another 16.
I agree.
But she doesn't have anything right now, Sam. I'm sure she'd take the 10.
CSI it. You can CSI with technology.
In 2021, we can CSI it. Thank you very much. Do not give up, miss.
Tori's case dismissed. Guarantee you.
Winning.
Coming up on DBL, we are rounding out 80s week with actress Lou Henner. Did she really date two of her Taxi co-stars? Plus, Cheadle and Regina are here and share why they love working with each other so much. And we're talking to former View co-host Sherry Shepherd. Does she still keep in touch with her old co-workers? We're going to find out coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Across the country, there are visuals like this. People waiting in long lines to fill up at the pump. But there's a lot of misconceptions and straight up misinformation out there. So let's verify 3 fuel facts you need to know. Our sources are Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy and Ken Medlock from the Center for Energy Studies at Rice University. Let's start here. Was this actually a shortage? DeHaan says that despite a lot of confusion saying otherwise, it's actually not.
This issue was a delivery issue. Almost like UPS or FedEx couldn't deliver a package for a few days.
In other words, there's plenty of gas out there, it's just not getting to the consumer. Okay, here's our next question. Why are prices so high right now? AAA says the average price is $3 a gallon nationwide. This time last year, it was $1.85. Our experts say that the gas prices have actually been trending upward since November of last year.
Americans are hitting the road and demand has continued to increase. That is why we're seeing prices go up.
But Medlock tells us that on top of all that, we did see gas prices go up as a result of the pipeline issue.
That 10 to 15 cent move we've seen, depending on where you are, is really the result of the pipeline going down.
Okay, question 3. If you're looking to stock up on gas, how long can you keep it?
The shelf life, 3 to 6 months. It really depends on the time of year, the type of fuel, where you're getting it.
But that assumes that you're using an approved fuel container, which is the safe way to do it. Our experts urge you not to be like the people in these viral videos.
A CVS bag, seriously?
Do not transport gasoline with bottles, milk cartons, or plastic bags.
Do not do that. That is incredibly dangerous.
With your Verify, this is Evan Kozloff.
Welcome back to DBL. Actress and comedian Sherri Shepherd is literally living her best life and encouraging us all to do the same. Earlier, Lindsay and Al caught up with her and cardiologist Suzanne Steinbaum to inspire all of us to get heart healthy.
Well done.
Welcome to DBL. So you've teamed up with the American Heart Association and CVS to promote heart health. And you're leading by example because you both look amazing and all three of us are wearing red. Yay! So Sherri, you recently posted this video of you dancing to celebrate your impressive weight loss transformation. Congratulations, but I gotta ask you, what worked for you, and do you have any tips for me that are game-changing?
Absolutely. I would say it's really what you ingest and how much you move. So literally look at what you're eating and make healthy choices. That's what I had to do. I had to incorporate more fruits and vegetables, put down the salt and pepper shaker. I had to put down the sugar and say, you know what, broccoli maybe doesn't work when you're breaking up with your boyfriend, but it works better in the long run with your health. You got to get your heart moving. And after that, so many good things happen. So it was so exciting for me because I teamed up with the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women to educate myself on heart disease and how to prevent it. I didn't know it was the #1 killer amongst women.
Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum, I want to ask you, when it comes to heart health, is it important for women to know our numbers? And if so, explain what that means and share with us why these numbers are so important.
As we say in the American Heart Association, know your numbers, meaning know your risk factors so we can prevent heart disease as early as we can. Those numbers include cholesterol, your HDL, which is your good cholesterol, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. And knowing those numbers empowers you to understand where you need to make changes in your life to prevent heart disease. Here's the thing. 80% of the time, heart disease is preventable.
I mean, this story is near and dear to my heart, guys. This is Al Jackson. I just want to say thank you, Sherri, for doing this. I lost my father because of heart disease, and it's affected a lot of women in my family. And, as a lot of black folks don't like to go to the doctor. There are reasons for that, but especially people from a certain generation, it's tough to get them to go, and especially to know their numbers. I cannot believe you celebrated your 54th birthday with some amazing women, including some of your celebrity friends, and some women behind your new exciting sitcom, Black Don't Crack. What can you tell us more about this project?
I'm working with Viola Davis on Black Don't Crack, which is exciting. And I take my girlfriends go with me on this health journey. That's what helped me.
I agree. We got to get everyone to go to the doctor to get their numbers checked. But I just want to say every day this week, CVS Health is offering no-cost screenings. So now there's no excuse. You don't even have to go to your doctor. You can just walk into a CVS and get these numbers.
So I want to talk to you, Sherri, about not only being a talk show veteran, but you also have a new podcast called Two Funny Mamas with comedian Kim Whitley.
Cleveland.
Plus, you're the newest co-host on Dish Nation. So do you keep in touch with any of your former co-hosts from The View?
Oh, are you kidding me? I call Whoopi up all the time. I'm always kikiing it with Joy Behar. Sunny Hostin, we text like nonstop. I miss my girls on The View. I scream at the TV every single day, and I text Whoopi, and I go, Whoopi, say this. And she goes, if you don't leave me alone, leave me alone. So I'm always in touch with those ladies. That's my family.
That's amazing. We have a DBL family here, so I can totally relate. Sherri Shepherd and Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum, thank you so much for joining us. And DBL Nation, visit cvshealth.com/GoRed to learn more about heart health and the American Heart Association's Go Red campaign. We'll be right back.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
After being criticized for being too cautious, the CDC has done an about-face on face masks. So why the change? Turns out vaccines are that good. Let's connect the dots. Some of the criticism the CDC has faced was it was underselling vaccines by not allowing vaccinated people more freedom. That's because the data we now have on the COVID vaccines show they are extremely effective in preventing severe disease. Experts now have more than just the results of the clinical trials, they have real-world data. One reason the CDC was cautious was because of concerns that even vaccinated people could still spread the disease. But as more shots are going into arms, it looks like that is not common. One real-world study found that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines help prevent transmission, not just symptoms. So now the focus moves from face masks to encouraging everybody to get vaccinated.
Oh, Rob, with that camera work. Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, I got a chance to talk to one of my heroes, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. They both stopped by DBL to tell us about their show's newest season and what it's been like working together. First, how about you take a sneak peek at season 3 of Black Monday?
Double D. Looks like you're doing pretty good, huh?
I get way more respect in here than I ever did from the outside.
I think it might be time to sell that Nintendo stock you put me in.
No, it's gonna be huge. Now, who does have to shift to give a hot pastrami on ride from Carnegie's up in here, okay?
That was an early look at the new season of Black Monday. Season 3 is back on Showtime later this month. So excited. And we are talking to the stars and producers, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. Welcome to DBL. Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
We can't wait to jump in, but first, Don, you shared a picture on Instagram just last month that caught our eye because it's a flyer from your school, your high school, and their jazz concert. Well, we realize we live literally like a stone's throw from there. Our studio is that close to your old stomping grounds. So now that we have you here and we're actually pulling up that very flyer, we got to know, what were you like back then?
I think perfect in every way. That's what I've been told anyway. Look at me, mime. You got the mime show up. I was, as advertised, a clown. I mean, and it's continued to this day. I always, acting and music were kind of running neck and neck for me when I graduated high school. And I think I made a weather choice and came to Los Angeles, and I'm glad I did, or else I wouldn't have met Regina and we wouldn't have been doing Black Monday. So.
Yeah, Don, I think you made the right choice. Just a quick review of your career. You're doing okay.
I'm doing all right.
I'm a fan. And Regina, I'm a fan of you. And also, it's kind of cool that we share a similar career path because we were both former teachers. I wanted to ask you, do you ever hear from any of your former students?
Ironically, I did this movie a long time ago called Paid in Full.
I'm familiar.
And the student, Pat Porter, who I played, unbeknownst to me, the girl, she went to the school that I taught at College in New Rochelle. She was a student. And she said, "You were so mean." But I wasn't really mean. I was really strict because I wanted the students to take me serious because, we were similar in age range. So yeah, Patricia Porter, that was the irony of that, to be talking to her before as a student at the school, and then to be asking her about her life, to portray her.
That's so cool.
Every now and then, yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk Black Monday. Congratulations, season 3. Like you said, Don, you guys go way back, and we know you guys love working together. But what gets on your nerves about each other? Is there a little quirk with each of you guys that you don't like about each other?
I mean, it sounds like, of course, there's a bunch of platitudes to say, no, I love Regina, she's my favorite co-star ever. But it really is true. We famously get along very well. Regina only gets upset with me when my character on the show has a love interest. That's not her on the show.
I do.
She gets pretty upset about that. Yeah.
And I really do get upset. Like, I really do. Like, if they're around, I'm like, I think the director yelled cut. Move the arm. It is true, but I love Don. I probably harass him a little bit. But outside of that, it really is it's like a joy. I look forward to it.
I love it.
Right. I was going to say, Regina, I just had to, tell our viewers, we just did a show right before this interview, that Sam, my co-host, and I do not argue with each other because we get all these tweets like, you guys are so mean to each other. But when you're close and you're with each other for 6 hours a day, you literally are like brother and sister. And so we bicker, and then I don't realize the viewers think we hate each other.
We love each other.
No, and we're on this show. It's not out of the question for us to be on set for 12 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are common TV hours. 10 to 14 hours is just what we do every day. So obviously, if you're in conditions with people that you don't like, that's really, really tricky.
It's
hard.
Yeah, but I've been very blessed. I think we've been very blessed to not have that. And our cast is, we're incredibly close.
The new season of Black Monday premieres May 23rd, only on Showtime. It looks really, really good. Thank you so much, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. Once again, we appreciate you both.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
People can now sign up to see if they qualify for $50 off their monthly internet through an FCC program. This has raised a lot of questions from viewers wondering how this process works. So we want to verify, does the FCC ask for personal information for its $50 broadband internet credit? With Verify, we show you who our sources are first. We spoke with Patrick Weber. He is the chief of the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau at the Federal Communications Commission. The main question we've received, do I need to provide my social security number? No, you don't need to, but it is an option. You can either provide your social security number, tribal ID number, or one of these forms of identification.
Things that would verify you as the person that you're saying you are, those are things that are required for the program.
Next, do I have to show my tax form? This is true. The FCC needs this for proof of how much income your household makes.
You would have to have an income below $99,000 for a single filer and below $198,000 for joint filers.
Is my credit card number or bank account number required? No, it is not. As long as you provide your tax form, the FCC will not ask for any more financial information.
They'll be able to get all the information they need from you and get you enrolled from their own website.
So we can verify. Yes, the FCC will ask for some personal information, but you will have options in what you provide. To apply, you can visit getemergencybroadband.org.
Next week on DBL, we're throwing it back to the 90s with your favorite sitcom stars, Melissa Joan Hart, Kim Fields, Karen Parsons, even Urkel himself, Jaleel White. Plus, Tom Arnold's family secrets we never knew about. His own sister dubbed the Queen of Meth.
There's no way for it to go except prison or death.
And one musician's courageous fight against racism, convincing KKK members to renounce their hatred.
If one of those types of people is willing to sit down and have a conversation with you, it's hard to hate somebody when you're right there face to face.
That's all next week only on DBL.
So good. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. We are wrapping up a week of your favorite stars of the 80s. There she is! Cannot wait to talk to her. Plus, new details about the upcoming Friends reunion that everyone's talking about. And thank you to our co-workers watching from home right now. We have Chin Chin. We appreciate all of you. We miss you. DBL's new every day. We will be right back.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Thank you, Chris. Welcome to DBL. If you only knew what was happening behind the scenes.
Harassing our cameraman.
I'm Sam here with Tori and Al. Let's get started. So they've set the date. The highly anticipated Friends reunion will air on May 27th. HBO Max released this first look at the special, which featured the backs of all 6 cast members. Very dramatic.
It's like they were all killed in a car accident. Why are they showing this?
It's really bad. It's bad.
The special had been delayed multiple times because of the pandemic, but the cast members were finally able to reunite on the show's original soundstage on the Warner Brothers lot. We also know who was invited to the party. The guest list includes David Beckham, Justin Bieber, K-pop group BTS, Lady Gaga, and Malala Yousafzai, just to name a few. Okay, what do you make of this? First of all, the bizarre guest list, but then also that very dark promo.
Okay, so first off, it's not going to be like a normal, like, ding dong, I'm in Chandler's apartment. Could I be more annoying? It's a sit down, talk out thing. You know what I'm talking about, right? And they're going to have people in the audience like Bieber asking questions, and then they're going to have people like Tom Selleck, who were on the shows, coming on as guests, like cameos. So I think that'll be interesting. But what I found fascinating is a lot of my millennial friends, and I do have some, they binge this show because they never saw it live. They see it syndicated as like their Cheers. So Malala Yousafzai, I bet you at Oxford, binged the heck out of Friends.
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? She's like, they were on a break.
You know what? My son binges Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
See what I mean?
It's so interesting. Yeah, it's weird how the shows resonate like a decade later. And it never hit me. I watched Cheers on reruns.
So are you looking forward to this?
I don't know what this is. I don't know what the.
Yeah, there's no black people on Friends.
If they came in here and shot me, I'd be like, 7 rich people came in and took me out. I don't know who they are.
That apartment was ridiculous.
Dude,
I know they were roommates, but that's a $3 million apartment.
New York City had 0 people of color for all 10 years. No black people at all in that show.
Have you been to the Upper East Side? Okay.
All right. Prince Harry is opening up about his mental health and what it was like for him growing up as a royal. So Harry spoke to Dax Shepard on his Armchair Expert podcast, where he compared royal life to being on The Truman Show or in a zoo. He also talked about how he sought out therapy to deal with the trauma he experienced when his mother, Princess Diana, died, and talked about his upbringing as well. Have a listen.
When it comes to parenting, if I've experienced some form of pain or suffering because of the pain or suffering that perhaps my father or my parents had suffered, I'm going to make sure that I break that cycle so that I don't pass it on, basically. There's a lot of genetic pain and suffering that gets passed on anyway.
Yeah, and
we, as parents, we should be doing the most that we can to try and say, you know what, that happened to me, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
Beautifully said. It's called generational trauma, and it is real, and we all deal with it. And, you know, from what we learned from Meghan Markle, when she talked about her trauma and her wanting to seek mental, help, they did not allow that, allegedly, according to her. So what do you make of him speaking so freely about this? This is unprecedented.
Huge break. And again, his mother, in the secret tapes, when she delivered and recorded them, also spoke about her bulimia and said she needed help and no one was there. She was all alone. That's all she kept saying. No one would help her out from the castle or the industry that it is. And just know, the English monarchy goes back to 1066. And it's parents that didn't really love their wives that had children so that they could have a bloodline to pass down. So this sense of parenting is brand new. And I don't think Charles had a good upbringing. I think they were very stern. They were to be seen and not heard. So this is huge.
I think you could make the argument that parenting, especially for men, is kind of, might be in our second generation, where men know how to braid their daughter's hair. There's more. There's pictures of Mark and Sophie before Miles came along by themselves at the park while mom is at work. This is relatively new. So I mean, I think that just learning to parent and love and be okay with making mistakes and saying I need some mental health, something seems wrong, it's going to be okay. And he's figuring that out probably for the first time ever in that bloodline. So good on him.
He is breaking that stigma. Okay, so coming up on DBL, a man. This is a very serious story. Spent 20 years on death row for a crime he did not commit, how he finally got out in an all-new Freedom Files, wrongfully convicted. But first, we're talking. There she is.
Yes.
Live with Mary Lou Henner. We cannot wait. Don't go away.
Nice earrings.
Closed captioning provided by
Across the country, there are visuals like this. People waiting in long lines to fill up at the pump. But there's a lot of misconceptions and straight up misinformation out there. So let's verify 3 fuel facts you need to know. Our sources are Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy and Ken Medlock from the Center for Energy Studies at Rice University. Let's start here. Was this actually a shortage? DeHaan says that despite a lot of confusion saying otherwise, it's actually not.
This issue is a delivery issue.
almost like UPS or FedEx couldn't deliver a package for a few days.
In other words, there's plenty of gas out there, it's just not getting to the consumer. Okay, here's our next question. Why are prices so high right now? AAA says the average price is $3 a gallon nationwide. This time last year, it was $1.85. Our experts say that the gas prices have actually been trending upward since November of last year.
Americans are hitting the road and demand has continued to increase. That is why we're seeing prices go up.
But Medlock tells us that on top of all that, we did see gas prices go up as a result of the pipeline issue.
That 10 to 15 cent move we've seen, depending on where you are, is really the result of the pipeline going down.
Okay, question 3. If you're looking to stock up on gas, how long can you keep it?
The shelf life, 3 to 6 months. It really depends on the time of year, the type of fuel, where you're getting it.
But that assumes that you're using an approved fuel container, which is the safe way to do it. Our experts urge you not to be like the people in these viral videos.
A CVS bag, seriously?
Do not transport gasoline with bottles, milk cartons, or plastic bags.
Do not do that. That is incredibly dangerous.
With your Verify, this is Evan Kozloff.
Scene, of course, from Taxi. Mary Lou Henner got her big break on the groundbreaking sitcom. The show picked up 18 Emmy Awards and made stars out of Mary Lou, Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd, Judd Hirsch, Danny DeVito, and, of course, the late Andy Kaufman. Mary Lou Henner joined. Yes! Welcome, Mary Lou. We are all big
party.
Oh, okay. It's always
Friday.
party.
She's in.
It is Friday. Yes. Welcome to the party. Let's get right to it. You've been open about how you dated both Tony Danza and Judd Hirsch while you were shooting Taxi. How did you keep things civil on the set? And after looking at that picture of you and Danny DeVito, I gotta wonder, was Danny DeVito the better kisser or the other two that you dated?
Well, okay, first of all, I love that you picked that episode because that's my favorite episode of all times. It's called Shut It Down, parts 1 and 2. It really was an incredible episode. And Danny's a blast and a great kisser, as was Burt Reynolds and all the other men that I got to kiss being an actress. You know what? Here's the thing. It was 77 guys and me. Tony and I started dating like right away within the first couple of weeks. Then we kind of broke up because I knew he was going to be wild. He knew I was going to be wild. Ooh. And then Judd and I found ourselves in a relationship. And even though we all broke up, we are like still best friends. We just did our 11th Zoom during the pandemic. We just did it last Sunday to celebrate Jim Brooks' birthday. Yeah. And Tony had us doing like an American Idol, judging cops singing and kids singing and performing and everything else. I see these guys all the time. We're totally current with one another. And I'm the kind of person who breaks up with people and then I invite them to one of my weddings. You know, I don't stay mad at people. They don't stay mad at me. I just feel like there are so few people that you fall madly in love with in your life. There's a reason that you do, and why lose a certain connection? Plus, we were all in the trenches together, so it was easy.
That's mature.
Yeah, I mean, it's mature. It's so weird. I think, you know, that's what you should look for when you have a new partner is like, how do you and your exes get along? Because if you don't speak to any of your exes and you hate each other,
red flag,
I think that's a bad sign. I think it's because it's like, hey, we had an adult discussion and we went our different ways, but we like each other. Beautiful. Yep. All right. Now I'm asking this. Yeah. I am asking this as a professional comic and somebody that is obsessed with Andy Kaufman. He played Locke on Taxi. Oh. He was an eccentric, but obviously a brilliant comedian. But I have to know, because only you know this, what was the real Andy like?
Well, you know, don't think he was anything like Jim Carrey played him in Man on the Moon, because Jim was always like on and a little crazy. And if you saw the documentary Jim and Andy, you understand that he sort of had his own agenda going with that part. Andy was like a sweet boy next door from Great Neck. He considered himself a song and dance man. We talked a lot about musical theater. He was always singing and dancing. Definitely, he was a provocateur. Definitely, he would do anything to stir up the audience and do crazy things, but he knew every second of the day what it was that he was doing, you know, and that was his brilliance. It's not like he was always a little wild, you know, he was totally normal and then would do something a little insane.
He's
so
amazing.
I miss him. He was great.
He reminds me a little bit of Sacha Baron Cohen. Has that really detailed provocateur in him, right? I think that's better than Jim Carrey. I agree with you. Okay, first off, you're my favorite movie of all time. Noise is Off. I had to say it. My parents would be so mad.
She said it during the commercial break as well.
I'm so thrilled to meet you. Really, it's such an honor to meet you. Number one, Carol Burnett. Anyway, I wanted to ask you this. You have something very fascinating about yourself, and it's called Highly Superior Autobiographical Memory. I couldn't remember it, so I had to read it, which is embarrassing. So I'm gonna, there's like 100 people in the world that have this, right? So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna give you a date, and I want you to recall what happened, okay?
Wait, can you tell everybody really quickly what that is?
You literally can't, but why doesn't Mary Lou tell us?
Okay, basically, I remember every day of my life, but I remember what happened to me. Not so much world events, not so much, what show. It's through my eyes. It's like my autobiographical memory. So I'm not a trivia expert. It's not like you can give me something that happened in history all the time. Do you know what I mean? So it depends. Your mouth is open, so obviously that's where you guys were going.
Yeah,
why don't we do somebody's birthday?
That's great. That's great. Okay, let's do each other's.
6, 1980.
One of your birthdays.
August 6, 1980.
I'm sorry, what?
August 6th, 1980.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So August 6th, 1980 was a Wednesday, right? Yes. August 6th, 1980. Oh, you know what I did? I saw the movie Fame that day.
Do you know that?
I saw the movie Fame that day.
That's insane.
And you could look, it was like in the movie theater. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. And I was, weren't you born on a Wednesday?
Yes, I was. No, I was.
Born on a Wednesday.
I was born on a Wednesday.
Okay, try January 12th, 1982. Can you do that?
Yes. January 12th, 1982 was a Tuesday.
That's right.
Right?
I was born on a Tuesday.
Unbelievable.
January 12th, 1982. Yes. And I was shooting Taxi, trying to think, Tuesday. What episode were we in the middle of? Oh, it was like our 4th season, which was one of my favorite seasons. And so we were getting ready to do the Ted Danson one, but then it was postponed, so we waited a couple weeks to do it.
I wonder what it looks like in your brain,
works.
right? It's like calendars,
it's
images.
like I'm back.
Wow, unbelievable.
You know what it is? It's like I'm catapulted. It's like a time travel, and I'm back in the day. And like when you said August 6th, it's like I'm there.
Fascinating.
I'm there, and
amazing.
I know what happened.
I wish we could talk to you longer.
So I mean, you might have been able to ask me those other, whatever you had in mind. But I've been on shows where people have said like blah blah blah. And it's like that was, I don't know, or a sports question.
Mary Lou, we're gonna have to have you come back on DBL whenever you're in Denver. Please come here physically at the panel, and we adore you. You can also catch Mary Lou.
We have so much fun. But let me tell you something. Yes. I've been watching your show like this whole time. Oh yeah, that's on June the 13th, Aurora Tea Garden on June 13th on the Hallmark Murders and Mystery Channel. So that's gonna be. And you guys are a blast. Every single thing you're talking about, I want to like sit there with you for a day.
Be on the panel.
And like hang out and talk.
Anytime. And she gave her own plug. She's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Wow, you belong here. We'll be right back. Thank you, Mary Lou.
She's done. Amazing.
Nearly.
After being criticized for being too cautious, the CDC has done an about-face on face masks. So why the change? Turns out vaccines are that good. Let's connect the dots. Some of the criticism the CDC has faced was it was underselling vaccines by not allowing vaccinated people more freedom. That's because the data we now have on the COVID vaccines show they are extremely effective in preventing severe disease. Experts now have more than just the results of the clinical trials. They have real-world data. One reason the CDC was cautious was because of concerns that even vaccinated people could still spread the disease. But as more shots are going into arms, it looks like that is not common. One real-world study found that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines help prevent transmission, not just symptoms. So now the focus moves from face masks to encouraging everybody to get vaccinated.
Welcome back to DBL. He spent 2 decades locked away in a cage. At one point, he came within 3 days of dying for a crime he never committed. In today's Freedom Files, we speak with Joe D'Ambrosio about his remarkable road to freedom and the one person who helped him get there. September 24th, 1988. The stabbed body of 19-year-old Anthony Klan is found floating in a creek in Cleveland, Ohio.
Now, everybody involved in this case at one time or another worked for the landscaping company.
26-year-old Joe D'Ambrosio is the newest to the company, having known the team for less than a month.
And they're saying that the night that we were in the bars is the night that he died. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no.
The company's foreman, Edward Espinoza, he lays out a fabricated story that involves Joe and the company's owner, Michael Keenan.
Espinoza is pointing his finger at me and Keenan, saying he stood there and watched while me and Keenan killed this kid.
Joe is charged with aggravated murder, kidnapping, and aggravated burglary. Espinoza takes a deal, pleading guilty to manslaughter, and testifies against Joe.
He said that Mike cut his throat, pushed him in the creek, and then Mike turned around and handed me the knife, jumped into this creek, chased Anthony down, and stabbed him 3 times in the chest.
Espinoza says the murder was over an argument about missing drugs.
The only defense that I put up was me.
But Joe struggles while on the stand.
So they threw me up there cold and let the prosecutor have at me. Tore me up.
Joe is found guilty and sentenced to death. Locked in his cage for 23 hours a day, Joe passes the time by working on his case.
It's life or death. You know, this is what matters.
Joe shares his story with a death row inmate who has a unique pen pal.
When I first started writing to death row inmates, I was writing one guy, and Keith Hennis was that guy. And Keith would literally tell me about the inmates that were in the cells around him.
While reading the obituaries in the local paper, Father Neil notices Joe's mother and decides to attend her funeral. He meets with Joe in prison afterwards.
And he's trying to explain my mom's funeral to me. And I'm thanking him profusely, but I'm saying, you got to help me. I didn't do this. And he's like, no, I can't.
But Father Neil's interest peaks after he hears the length of Joe's trial.
Father Neil's not just a priest. He's a registered nurse and an attorney. And I'm going for the attorney in him.
And when Joe told me that he had the shortest death penalty case in the history of Ohio, and that a capital case that would take somebody's life was memorialized in one volume, I'm like, that's not possible.
Father Neil spends the next 14 years investigating Joe's case. In 2006, 17 years after being found guilty, Joe is granted a new trial.
80 95% of the evidence that freed me was in 3 places: prosecutor's file, police file, and coroner's file. And it was there all along. And they hid it.
In 2012, after 20 years on death row and another 3 trying to clear his name, Joe is finally a free man.
Joe, welcome to DBL. I'm going to start off with this question for you. The killer, the actual killer in your case, has never been brought to justice. And you've said that this murder will always be a cold case. I want to know from you why you think that.
Well, there's actually two murderers in this case. One was my co-defendant, and he died. The second one is a guy, we're not even sure if he's still alive or not. Last we knew of was 12 years ago when I was going through my retrial. And the reason they won't go after him is because if they go after him, they have to get their checkbook out and pay me.
Yes.
Because it shows that they should never came after me.
I've got a hypothetical for you, Joe. Let's say Father Neil never got involved in your case. Do you believe you'd still be in prison right now?
No, I'd be dead. I'd be dead.
You'd be dead.
Wow.
If Father Neil didn't come into my life, they would have executed me easily 17 years ago and not even batted an eye. Father Neil is not only a priest, he's a registered nurse, and he's an attorney. He had to be all 3 things to do what he did for me. If he was only 2 of the 3, it never would have worked.
Why would him missing one of those have affected you in your case overall?
If he wasn't the priest, he wouldn't have initially been writing the inmate in the cell next to me. If he wasn't the attorney, he wouldn't have caught on to the things that I was telling him. And he needed to be the nurse because the very first thing, when I first talked him into helping me, he read through my trial transcript and he read it that night. And as he was reading it, he came across the coroner's testimony about Anthony Clan's throat being cut. Espinoza, my co-defendant, said that he was running down a creek after his throat was cut, screaming, "Please don't kill me, please don't kill me." Well, he was a critical care nurse for over 15 years. He knows if your throat is compromised,
Don't scream, right?
You can't scream, you can't do anything. And on top of that, he had 650 milliliters of blood in his lungs and stomach. So if anything, he was drowning in his own blood, not screaming for help.
Wow.
And running.
And running.
Like, wait a minute, this is so wrong. Wow. And if this is so wrong, what else is wrong?
Joe, thank you so much for joining DBL. We really appreciate you taking the time. We'll be right back.
No problem.
Thanks,
you have
Joe.
a good day.
You too.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
People can now sign up to see if they qualify for $50 off their monthly internet through an FCC program. This has raised a lot of questions from viewers wondering how this process works. So we want to verify, does the FCC ask for personal information for its $50 broadband internet credit? With Verify, we show you who our sources are first. We spoke with Patrick Weber. He is the chief of the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau at the Federal Communications Commission. The main question we've received, do I need to provide my social security number? No, you don't need to, but it is an option. You can either provide your social security number, tribal ID number, or one of these forms of identification.
Things that would verify you as the person that you're saying you are, those are things that are required for the program.
Next, do I have to show my tax form? This is true. The FCC needs this for proof of how much income your household makes.
You would have to have an income below $99,000 for a single filer and below $198,000 for joint filers.
Is my credit card number or bank account number required? No, it is not. As long as you provide your tax form, the FCC will not ask for any more financial information.
They'll be able to get all the information they need from you and get you enrolled from their own website.
So we can verify Yes, the FCC will ask for some personal information, but you will have options in what you provide. To apply, you can visit getemergencybroadband.org.
Welcome back to DBL. If you're trying to get back into shape for summer, here are some tips in DBL's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. First, take ice cold baths or showers. They help you build resilience and improve your immune response. Really? Ooh. Second, walk in the mornings and evenings. That helps your circadian rhythm, which is sleep. Finally, steam rooms or saunas help you get rid of extra water and sodium and prevent bloating. Staying active is so important, and QB has made it easy. Try their under-desk elliptical at home, 1-800-782-2351, or you can visit QB.com to learn more.
QB in front of the TV for 1 hour, and you're good to go.
Nice. DBL's new every day. Happy Friday, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
What we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
New guidance from the CDC about ditching masks raises a lot of questions. Our expert is setting the record straight. In today's Freedom Files, Wrongfully Convicted, a man spends 2 decades on death row. before finally being set free.
It's life or death. Well, this is what matters.
Plus, 80s Week continues with Mary Lou Henner live. Sherry Shepherd is also here, and Don Cheadle and Regina Hall give us the behind-the-scenes scoop on their hit show.
I think the director yelled, "Cut, move the arm."
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Friday. Tori's already feeling it. May 14th. I'm Sam here with Tori and Al. You're feeling Friday?
Just feeling good. I feel like things are turning around in this world.
You know what? That leads to our very first story. It's finally here, the moment so many of us have been waiting for. Of course, we're talking about the new CDC guidance saying fully vaccinated people no longer need to wear masks or stay socially distant. So for many of us, it'll come down to what state and local governments allow, but a lot of places are following suit and doing away with mask mandates inside. So this is a great day for people who are fully vaccinated. We've always been very open and transparent. We are all vaccinated here, but there are still a lot of questions like, how do you know who's really vaccinated or not? And what kind of proof will be required? And does this mean that vaccinated and unvaccinated people will be treated differently? What do you think, Al?
I mean, I think when you send your kid to school, that's almost the only time that you know everybody in that building is vaccinated. But when you go anywhere else, a ball game, a restaurant, you don't know. There's a lot of people that are anti-vaxxers, don't get themselves or their kids vaccinated, and you don't know when they're at the playground. So I think we've all made it this far not knowing, and you're not going to know unless there's a special handshake that I don't know about, Tori.
Well, there's some ideas of like, and this leads into a very interesting racial question of like a wristband, for instance, of like, hey, I'm wearing a mask, keep my distance, I would rather not get the vaccine, I'm gonna wear a green wristband at school or something. And then if you have the vaccine, you get a red. But then it becomes this weird, like, do you start treating people differently in an odd way, right? Segregating them in a weird way. So I would like to ask before and just trust the answer. I'm not going to look for passports, like I said, but I am going to ask for people at my place, but I'll wear a mask just because I don't know.
I'm nervous about all this.
Yeah.
I really am. I have to be honest.
It's not easy. I'm
nervous about going into certain places and trusting that if someone's not in a mask, that they are doing it for the better good of the people around them.
Right.
You know how seriously we all take COVID, but I know that our viewers know it impacted my family severely. Currently, my brother-in-law is still in the ICU. Dr. Coley, who we're going to bring in a little bit, knows that story very well. So I just want to make sure that people take it as seriously as I do. So it's going to be tough for me to take people's word, but I want to do the same. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
And ease into it. We'll ease into it.
Also, trust your gut, Sam. If you feel nervous or apprehensive, don't go in there.
I also have a 1-year-old, right, that I have to protect.
It's fine for you to be cautious.
All right. So what does the new CDC guidance mean for you? To help answer some of these questions, we are joined by our own medical expert, Dr. Pyle Coley. Okay, so
hey guys.
Hey,
so now that you're vaccinated, have you done a group hug yet, or
no?
That's weird.
Do you guys want to like Dr. Coley, but I haven't. Can we, Chris, touch hands or no?
Can we touch hands?
Not because of
Yes,
technopolicy.
don't do it. Absolutely.
Don't do it.
Oh, but Dr. Coley, per technopolicy.
This is like when your mom and dad tell you two different things.
Okay.
I'm going with mom.
Dr. Coley, let's start with the biggest question that so many of us want to know. Does this mean the pandemic is finally over, at least for fully vaccinated people?
Almost, Sam, almost. We are almost there. So the pandemic is really going to be over for everyone, vaccinated or unvaccinated, when it's over all around the world. It's over in India, it's over in Europe and everywhere else, because that's when we're truly safe. But as you have seen, and we've been talking about, the power of the vaccine is going to allow us to get our lives back to normal. So if anyone ever needed an incentive to get the vaccine, this is it, because as soon as you get it, you get your freedoms back.
That's so good to hear. Well, Dr. Coley, I want to ask just what we were talking about earlier, and Sam said she's a bit nervous about. What if you are vaccinated and you're fine, but you're going to like a barbecue, a grocery store, a party I hope to be invited to one day? What would you do? Would you wear your mask?
You know, Tori, I absolutely would wear my mask. And it's not so much because I'm at risk, because once I'm fully vaccinated, I am protected, you know, from getting this from unvaccinated people. But it's really to create the culture that when you're in an unfamiliar situation where you can't verify that everybody there is vaccinated, you all really should be wearing the mask. And to what Sam just said, for example, if Miles was at this party, you know, he can't wear a mask. He's only 1 year old. And so the rest of us have to make sure that the unvaccinated people are covered up to keep him protected.
Fair.
All right, well, this is the near and dear to my heart. Doc, I have to ask you, what about kids in masks? Do kids still need to wear them even if they're with their parents that are fully vaccinated?
Yes, they do, and this is going to be really tricky. I think we're in this weird transition period right now where we're starting to shift towards normal. Parents are vaccinated, but kids, especially those under the age of 12, Al, they're not even going to be eligible for the vaccine till probably fall of this year. So we absolutely have to encourage them to wear the mask, wash their hands, continue to do those mitigation measures because they're the vulnerable population. And for that reason, some of the adults may still have to model that behavior by wearing the mask themselves. And my other fear is if that kids start losing the mask, the virus is going to shift into our kids. It's going to start to infect them at a higher rate. So we really have to be sure to all work together to keep them protected.
Well said, Dr. Coley. We really appreciate your expertise this entire time.
Think about Sam from day one.
I know.
When she was here and we were just hearing whispers of COVID to this day.
I know.
And all that's been in between. And
She's been our advocate from day one. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on DBL and helping to answer all of our questions. We love you.
Truly.
Well, here's a nightmare scenario for anyone. And I feel like this would happen to Tori.
Yes.
I've been thinking about this. California was sold the winning lottery ticket, meaning she won $26 million. But she says the winning ticket was destroyed in the washing machine. Lottery officials are investigating. Here's what a store employee said about it.
And so when she pulled it out, it was all crumpled up like in little pieces. And she said she frantically tried to put them all together, but she couldn't.
So what would you do? Tori, what would you do?
Okay, as if you all know, I'm a little, they call me Tornado Tori, a little all over the place. And what I would do is this. I would know that you can find out where the ticket was sold. I would go to the heads of the lotto and I'd say, find the surveillance camera of me at that store. Match the time. Try and show that the lottery is from the same paper. Maybe go to the same ream of where it is to prove I'm not giving up on $26 million and saying it's in the. Are you really sleeping?
It's $26 million.
Dude, it's high stakes, and that was a great story.
I fell asleep during your CSI breakdown of that.
You wouldn't CSI a $26 million lottery ticket?
Look, first of all, what setting is her washing machine on where destroyed paper like that?
Every setting. What are you talking about? If I ever leave a piece of paper in my pocket in the washing machine, it
shreds it to pieces
like
it's a ticker tape parade. No, look, I feel sorry for this woman, and I think, again, this is a lottery that we invented. So that means that we, the people, invented the rules. Should she get the whole 26? I would like to see her, but that's probably not going to happen.
Why?
But can we? Because rules and they don't want to set precedent.
No,
but they could do something. They could do
Jackson.
If they broke her a check off for $10 million, we could all be done with this.
Albert, no, they owe her another 16.
I agree.
But she don't have anything right now, Sam. I'm sure she'd take the 10.
CSI, you can CSI with technology.
In 2021, we can CSI it. Thank you very much. Do not give up, miss.
Tori's case dismissed. Guarantee you.
Winning.
Coming up on DBL, we are rounding out 80s week with actress Lou Henner. Did she really date two of her Taxi co-stars? Plus, Cheadle and Regina Hall are here and share why they love working with each other so much. And we're talking to former View co-host Sherry Shepard. Does she still keep in touch with her old co-workers? We're going to find out coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Across the country, there are visuals like this. People waiting in long lines to fill up at the pump. But there's a lot of misconceptions and straight up misinformation out there. So let's verify 3 fuel facts you need to know. Our sources are Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy and Ken Medlock from the Center for Energy Studies at Rice University. Let's start here. Was this actually a shortage? DeHaan says that despite a lot of confusion saying otherwise, it's actually not.
This issue was a delivery issue. almost like UPS or FedEx couldn't deliver a package for a few days.
In other words, there's plenty of gas out there, it's just not getting to the consumer. Okay, here's our next question. Why are prices so high right now? AAA says the average price is $3 a gallon nationwide. This time last year, it was $1.85. Our experts say that the gas prices have actually been trending upward since November of last year.
Americans are hitting the road and demand has continued to increase. That is why we're seeing prices go up.
But Medlock tells us that on top of all that, we did see gas prices go up as a result of the pipeline issue.
That 10 to 15 cent move we've seen, depending on where you are, is really the result of the pipeline going down.
Okay, question 3. If you're looking to stock up on gas, how long can you keep it?
The shelf life, 3 to 6 months. It really depends on the time of year, the type of fuel, where you're getting it.
But that assumes that you're using an approved fuel container, which is the safe way to do it. Our experts urge you not to be like the people in these viral videos.
A CVS bag, seriously?
Do not transport gasoline with bottles, milk cartons, or plastic bags.
Do not do that. That is incredibly dangerous.
With your Verify, this is Evan Kozloff.
Welcome back to DBL. Actress and comedian Sherri Shepherd is literally living her best life and encouraging us all to do the same. Earlier, Lindsay and Al caught up with her and cardiologist Suzanne Steinbaum to inspire all of us to get heart healthy.
Well done. Welcome to DBL. So you've teamed up with the American Heart Association and CVS to promote heart health. And you're leading by example because you both look amazing and all three of us are wearing red. Yay! So Sherri, you recently posted this video of you dancing to celebrate your impressive weight loss transformation. Congratulations, but I gotta ask you, what worked for you, and do you have any tips for me that are game-changing?
Absolutely. I would say it's really what you ingest and how much you move. So literally look at what you're eating and make healthy choices. That's what I had to do. I had to incorporate more fruits and vegetables, put down the salt and pepper shaker. I had to put down the sugar and say, you know what, broccoli maybe doesn't work when you're breaking up with your boyfriend, but it works better in the long run with your health. You got to get your heart moving. And after that, so many good things happen. So it was so exciting for me because I teamed up with the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women to educate myself on heart disease and how to prevent it. I didn't know it was the #1 killer amongst women.
Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum, I want to ask you, when it comes to heart health, is it important for women to know our numbers? And if so, explain what that means and share with us why these numbers are so important.
As we say in the American Heart Association, know your numbers, meaning know your risk factors so we can prevent heart disease as early as we can. Those numbers include cholesterol, your HDL, which is your good cholesterol, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. And knowing those numbers empowers you to understand where you need to make changes in your life to prevent heart disease. Here's the thing. 80% of the time, heart disease is preventable.
I mean, this story is near and dear to my heart, guys. This is Al Jackson. I just want to say thank you, Sherri, for doing this. I lost my father because of heart disease, and it's affected a lot of women in my family. And, as a lot, black folks don't like to go to the doctor. There are reasons for that, but especially people from a certain generation, it's tough to get them to go, and especially to know their numbers. I cannot believe you celebrated your 54th birthday with some amazing women, including some of your celebrity friends, and some women behind your new exciting sitcom, Black Don't Crack. What can you tell us more about this project?
I'm working with Viola Davis on Black Don't Crack, which is exciting. And I take my girlfriends go with me on this health journey. That's what helped me.
I agree. We got to get everyone to go to the doctor to get their numbers checked. But I just want to say every day this week, CVS Health is offering no-cost screenings. So now there's no excuse. You don't even have to go to your doctor. You can just walk into a CVS and get these numbers.
So I want to talk to you, Sherry, about not only being a talk show veteran, but you also have a new podcast called Two Funny Mamas with comedian Kim Whitley.
Cleveland.
Plus, you're the newest co-host on Dish Nation. So do you keep in touch with any of your former co-hosts from The View?
Oh, are you kidding me? I call Whoopi up all the time. I'm always kikiing it with Joy Behar. Sunny Hostin, we text like nonstop. I miss my girls on The View. I scream at the TV every single day, and I text Whoopi, and I go, Whoopi, say this. And she goes, if you don't leave me alone, leave me alone. So I'm always in touch with those ladies. That's my family.
That's amazing. We have a DBL family here, so I can totally relate. Sherry Shepard and Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum, thank you so much for joining us. And DBL Nation, visit cvshealth.com/GoRed to learn more about heart health and the American Heart Association's Go Red campaign. We'll be right back.
After being criticized for being too cautious, the CDC has done an about-face on face masks. So why the change? Turns out vaccines are that good. Let's connect the dots. Some of the criticism the CDC has faced was it was underselling vaccines by not allowing vaccinated people more freedom. That's because the data we now have on the COVID vaccines show they are extremely effective in preventing severe disease. Experts now have more than just the results of the clinical trials, they have real-world data. One reason the CDC was cautious was because of concerns that even vaccinated people could still spread the disease. But as more shots are going into arms, it looks like that is not common. One real-world study found that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines help prevent transmission, not just symptoms. So now the focus moves from face masks to encouraging everybody to get vaccinated.
Oh, Rob, with that camera work. Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, I got a chance to talk to one of my heroes, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. They both stopped by DBL to tell us about their show's newest season and what it's been like working together. First, how about you take a sneak peek at season 3 of Black Monday?
Double D. Looks like you're doing pretty good, huh?
I get way more respect in here than I ever did on the outside.
I think it might be time to sell that Nintendo stock you put me in.
No, it's gonna be huge. Now, who does have to shift to give a hot pastrami on ride from Carnegie's up in here, okay?
That was an early look at the new season of Black Monday. Season 3 is back on Showtime later this month. So excited. And we are talking to the stars and producers, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. Welcome to DBL. Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
We can't wait to jump in, but first, Don, you shared a picture on Instagram just last month that caught our eye because it's a flyer from your school, your high school, and their jazz concert. Well, we realize we live literally like a stone's throw from there. Our studio is that close to your old stomping grounds. So now that we have you here and we're actually pulling up that very flyer, we got to know, what were you like back then?
I think perfect in every way. That's what I've been told anyway. Look at me, mime. You got the mime show up. I was, as advertised, a clown. I mean, and it's continued to this day. I always acting and music were kind of running neck and neck for me when I graduated high school. And I think I made a weather choice and came to Los Angeles, and I'm glad I did, or else I wouldn't have met Regina and we wouldn't have been doing Black Monday. So.
Yeah, Don, I think you made the right choice. Just a quick review of your career. You're doing okay.
I'm doing all right.
I'm a fan. Regina, I'm a fan of you. And also, it's kind of cool that we share a similar career path because we were both former teachers. I wanted to ask you, do you ever hear from any of your former students?
Ironically, I did this movie a long time ago called Paid in Full.
I'm familiar.
And the student, Pat Porter, who I played, unbeknownst to me, the girl, she went to the school that I taught at College in New Rochelle. She was a student. And she said, "You were so mean." But I wasn't really mean. I was really strict because I wanted the students to take me serious because, we were similar in age range. So yeah, Patricia Porter, that was the irony of that, to be talking to her before as a student at the school, and then to be asking her about her life to portray her.
That's so cool.
Every now and then, yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk Black Monday. Congratulations, season 3. Like you said, Don, you guys go way back, and we know you guys love working together. But what gets on your nerves about each other? Is there a little quirk with each of you guys that you don't like about each other?
I mean, it sounds like, of course, there's a bunch of platitudes to say, no, I love Regina, she's my favorite co-star ever. But it really is true. We famously get along very well. Regina only gets upset with me when my character on the show has a love interest. That's not her.
She
gets pretty upset about that. Yeah.
And I really do get upset. Like, I really do. Like, if they're around, I'm like, I think the director yelled cut. Move the arm. It is true, but I love Don. I probably harass him a little bit. But outside of that, it really is it's like a joy. I look forward to it.
I love it.
Right. I was going to say, Regina, I just had to, tell our viewers, we just did a show right before this interview, that Sam, my co-host, and I do not argue with each other because we get all these tweets like, you guys are so mean to each other. But when you're close and you're with each other for 6 hours a day, you literally are like brother and sister. Yes. And so we bicker, and then I don't realize the viewers think we hate each other.
But we love each other.
No, and we're on this show. It's not out of the question for us to be on set for 12 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are common TV hours. 10 to 14 hours is just what we do every day. So obviously, if you're in conditions with people that you don't like, that's really, really tricky.
It's hard.
Yeah, but I've been very blessed. I think we've been very blessed to not have that. And our cast is, we're incredibly close.
The new season of Black Monday premieres May 23rd, only on Showtime. It looks really, really good. Thank you so much, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. Once again, we appreciate you both.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
People can now sign up to see if they qualify for $50 off their monthly internet through an FCC program. This has raised a lot of questions from viewers wondering how this process works. So we want to verify, does the FCC ask for personal information for its $50 broadband internet credit? With Verify, we show you who our sources are first. We spoke with Patrick Weber. He is the chief of the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau at the Federal Communications Commission. The main question we've received, do I need to provide my social security number? No, you don't need to, but it is an option. You can either provide your social security number, tribal ID number, or one of these forms of identification.
Things that would verify you as the person that you're saying you are, those are things that are required for the program.
Next, do I have to show my tax form? This is true. The FCC needs this for proof of how much income your household makes.
You would have to have an income below $99,000 for a single filer and below $198,000 for joint filers.
Is my credit card number or bank account number required? No, it is not. As long as you provide your tax form, the FCC will not ask for any more financial information.
They'll be able to get all the information they need from you and get you enrolled from their own website.
So we can verify. Yes, the FCC will ask for some personal information, but you will have options in what you provide. To apply, you can visit getemergencybroadband.org.
Next week on DBL, we're throwing it back to the 90s with your favorite sitcom stars, Melissa Joan Hart, Kim Fields, Karen Parsons, even Urkel himself, Jaleel White. Plus, Tom Arnold's family secrets we never knew about. His own sister dubbed the Queen of Meth.
There's no way for it to go except prison or death.
And one musician's courageous fight against racism, convincing KKK members to renounce their hatred.
If one of those types of people is willing to sit down and have a conversation with you, it's hard to hate somebody when you're right there face to face.
That's all next week only on DBL. So good. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. We are wrapping up a week of your favorite stars of the 80s. There's she! Cannot wait to talk to her. Plus, new details about the upcoming Friends reunion that everyone's talking about. And thank you to our co-workers watching from home right now. We have Chin Chin. We appreciate all of you. We miss you. DBL's new every day. We will be right back.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Thank you, Chris. Welcome to DBL. If you only knew what was happening behind the scenes.
Harassing our cameraman.
I'm Sam here with Tori and Al. Let's get started. So they've set the date. The highly anticipated Friends reunion will air on May 27th. HBO Max released this first look at the special, which featured the backs of all 6 cast members. Very dramatic.
It's like they were all killed in a car accident. Why are they showing this?
It's really bad. It's bad.
The special had been delayed multiple times because of the pandemic, but the cast members were finally able to reunite on the show's original soundstage on the Warner Brothers lot. We also know who was invited to the party. The guest list includes David Beckham, Justin Bieber, K-pop group BTS, Lady Gaga, and Malala Yousafzai, just to name a few. Okay, what do you make of this? First of all, the bizarre guest list, but then also that very dark promo.
Okay, so first off, it's not going to be like a normal, like, ding dong, I'm in Chandler's apartment, could I be more annoying? It's a sit down, talk out thing. While you know what I'm talking about, right? And they're going to have people in the audience like Bieber asking questions, and then they're going to have people like Tom Selleck, who were on the shows, coming on as guests, like cameos. So I think that'll be interesting. But what I found fascinating is a lot of my millennial friends, and I do have some, they binge this show because they never saw it live. They see it syndicated as like their Cheers. So Malala Yousafzai, I bet you at Oxford, binged the heck out of Friends.
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? She's like, they were on a break.
You know what? My son binges Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
See what I mean?
It's so interesting. Yeah, it's weird how the shows
resonate
resonate like a decade later. And it never hit me. I watched Cheers on reruns.
So are you looking forward to this?
I don't know what this is. I don't know what the.
Yeah, there's no black people on Friends.
If they came in here and shot me, I'd be like, 7 rich people came in and took me out. I don't know who they are.
That apartment was ridiculous.
Dude,
I know they were roommates, but that's a $3 million apartment.
New York City had 0 people of color for all 10 years. No black people at all in that show.
Have you been to the Upper East Side? Okay.
All right. Prince Harry is opening up about his mental health and what it was like for him growing up as a royal. So Harry spoke to Dax Shepard on his Armchair Expert podcast, where he compared royal life to being on The Truman Show or in a zoo. He also talked about how he sought out therapy to deal with the trauma he experienced when his mother, Princess Diana, died, and talked about his upbringing as well. Have a listen.
When it comes to parenting, if I've experienced some form of pain or suffering because of the pain or suffering that perhaps my father or my parents had suffered, I'm going to make sure that I break that cycle so that I don't pass it on, basically. There's a lot of genetic pain and suffering that gets passed on anyway.
Yeah, and
we, as parents, we should be doing the most that we can to try and say, you know what, that happened to me, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
Beautifully said. It's called generational trauma, and it is real, and we all deal with it. And, you know, from what we learned from Meghan Markle, when she talked about her trauma and her wanting to seek mental, help, they did not allow that, allegedly, according to her. So what do you make of him speaking so freely about this? This is unprecedented.
Huge break. And again, his mother, in the secret tapes, when she delivered and recorded them, also spoke about her bulimia and said she needed help and no one was there. She was all alone. That's all she kept saying. No one would help her out from the castle or the industry that it is. And just know, the English monarchy goes back to 1066. And it's parents that didn't really love their wives that had children so that they could have a bloodline to pass down. So this sense of parenting is brand new. And I don't think Charles had a good upbringing. I think they were very stern. They were to be seen and not heard. So this is huge.
I think you could make the argument that parenting, especially for men, is kind of, might be in our second generation, where men know how to braid their daughter's hair. There's pictures of Mark and Sophie before Miles came along by themselves at the park while mom is at work. This is relatively new. So, I mean, I think that, just learning to parent and love and be okay with making mistakes and saying I need some mental health, something seems wrong, it's going to be okay. And he's figuring that out probably for the first time ever in that bloodline. So good on him.
He is breaking that stigma. Okay, so coming up on DBL, a man, this is a very serious story, spent 20 years on death row for a crime he did not commit. How he finally got out in an all-new Freedom Files, wrongfully convicted. But first, we're talking. There she is, live with Mary Lou Henner. We cannot wait. Don't go away.
Nice earrings.
Closed captioning provided by...
Across the country, there are visuals like this. People waiting in long lines to fill up at the pump. But there's a lot of misconceptions and straight up misinformation out there. So let's verify 3 fuel facts you need to know. Our sources are Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy and Ken Medlock from the Center for Energy Studies at Rice University. Let's start here. Was this actually a shortage? DeHaan says that despite a lot of confusion saying otherwise, it's actually not.
This issue was a delivery issue. Almost like UPS or FedEx couldn't deliver a package for a few days.
In other words, there's plenty of gas out there, it's just not getting to the consumer. Okay, here's our next question. Why are prices so high right now? AAA says the average price is $3 a gallon nationwide. This time last year, it was $1.85. Our experts say that the gas prices have actually been trending upward since November of last year.
Americans are hitting the road and demand has continued to increase. That is why we're seeing prices go up.
But Medlock tells us that on top of all that, we did see gas prices go up as a result of the pipeline issue.
That 10 to 15 cent move we've seen, depending on where you are, is really the result of the pipeline going down.
Okay, question 3. If you're looking to stock up on gas, how long can you keep it?
The shelf life, 3 to 6 months. It really depends on the time of year, the type of fuel, where you're getting it.
But that assumes that you're using an approved fuel container, which is the safe way to do it. Our experts urge you not to be like the people in these viral videos.
A CVS bag, seriously?
Do not transport gasoline with bottles, milk cartons, or plastic bags.
Do not do that. That is incredibly dangerous.
With your Verify, this is Evan Kozloff.
Scene, of course, from Taxi. Mary Lou Henner got her big break on the groundbreaking sitcom. The show picked up 18 Emmy Awards and made stars out of Mary Lou, Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd, Judd Hirsch, Danny DeVito, and, of course, the late Andy Kaufman. Mary Lou Henner joins us. Yes! Welcome, Mary Lou. We are all big
party.
Oh, okay. It's always
Friday.
party.
She's in.
It is Friday. Yes. Welcome to the party. Let's get right to it. You've been open about how you dated both Tony Danza and Judd Hirsch while you were shooting Taxi. How did you keep things civil on the set? And after looking at that picture of you and Danny DeVito, I gotta wonder, was Danny DeVito the better kisser or the other two that you dated?
Well, okay, first of all, I love that you picked that episode because that's my favorite episode of all times. It's called Shut It Down, parts 1 and 2. It really was an incredible episode. And Danny's a blast and a great kisser, as was Burt Reynolds and all the other men that I got to kiss being an actress. You know what? Here's the thing. It was 77 guys and me. Tony and I started dating like right away within the first couple of weeks. Then we kind of broke up because I knew he was going to be wild. He knew I was going to be wild. Ooh. And then Judd and I found ourselves in a relationship. And even though we all broke up, we are like still best friends. We have done We just did our 11th Zoom during the pandemic. We just did it last Sunday to celebrate Jim Brooks's birthday. Yeah. And Tony had us doing like an American Idol, judging cops singing and kids singing and performing and everything else. I see these guys all the time. We're totally current with one another. And I'm the kind of person who breaks up with people and then I invite them to one of my weddings. You know, I don't stay mad at people. They don't stay mad at me. I just feel like there are so few people that you fall madly in love with in your life. There's a reason that you do, and why lose a certain connection? Plus, we were all in the trenches together, so it was easy.
That's mature.
Yeah, I mean, it's mature. It's so weird. I think, you know, that's what you should look for when you have a new partner is like, how do you and your exes get along? Because if you don't speak to any of your exes and you hate each other,
Red flag,
I think that's a bad sign. I think it's because it's like, hey, we had an adult discussion and we went our different ways, but we like each other. Beautiful. Yep. All right. Now, I'm asking this. Yeah. I am asking this as a professional comic and somebody that is obsessed with Andy Kaufman. He played Lock On Taxi. He was an eccentric, but obviously a brilliant comedian. But I have to know, because only you know this, what was the real Andy like?
Well, you know, don't think he was anything like Jim Carrey played him in Man on the Moon, because Jim was always like on and a little crazy. And if you saw the documentary Jim and Andy, you understand that he sort of had his own agenda going with that part. Andy was like a sweet boy next door from Great Neck. He considered himself a song and dance man. We talked a lot about musical theater. He was always singing and dancing. Definitely, he was a provocateur. Definitely, he would do anything to stir up the audience and do crazy things, but he knew every second of the day what it was that he was doing, you know, and that was his brilliance. It's not like he was always a little wild, you know, he was totally normal and then would do something a little insane.
He's amazing.
I miss him. He was great.
He reminds me a little bit of Sacha Baron Cohen. Has that really detailed provocateur in him, right? I think that's better than Jim Carrey. I agree with you. Okay, first off, you're my favorite movie of all time. Noise is Off. I had to say it. My parents would be so mad.
She said it during the commercial break as well.
I'm so thrilled to meet you. Really, such an honor to meet you. Number one, Carol Burnett. Anyway, I wanted to ask you this. You have something very fascinating about yourself, and it's called Highly Superior Autobiographical Memory. I couldn't remember it, so I had to read it, which is embarrassing. So I'm gonna, there's like 100 people in the world that have this, right? So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna give you a date, and I want you to recall what happened, okay?
Wait, can you tell everybody really quickly what that is?
You literally can't, yeah, but why doesn't Mary Lou tell us?
Okay, basically, I remember every day of my life, but I remember what happened to me. Not so much world events, not so much, what show, it's through my eyes. It's like my autobiographical memory. So I'm not a trivia expert. It's not like you can give me something that happened in history all the time. Do you know what I mean? So it depends. Your mouth is open, so obviously that's where you guys were going.
Yeah,
why don't we do somebody's birthday?
That's
great. That's great. Let's do each other's 1980.
One of your birthdays.
August 6th, 1980.
I'm sorry, what?
August 6th, 1980.
Okay. So August 6th, 1980 was a Wednesday, right? Yes, August 6th, 1980. Oh, you know what I did? I saw the movie Fame that day.
Do you know that?
I saw the movie Fame that day.
That's insane.
And you could look, it was like in the movie theater. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. And I was, weren't you born on a Wednesday?
Yes, I was. No, I was.
Born on a Wednesday.
I was born on a Wednesday.
Okay, try January 12th, 1982. Can you do that?
Yes. January 12th, 1982 was a Tuesday.
That's right.
Right?
I was born on a Tuesday.
That's unbelievable.
January 12th, 1982. Yes. And I was shooting Taxi, trying to think, Tuesday. What episode were we in the middle of? Oh, it was like our 4th season, which was one of my favorite seasons. And so we were getting ready to do the Ted Danson one, but then it was postponed, so we waited a couple weeks to do it.
I wonder what it looks like in your brain,
works.
Right? It's like calendars,
it's
images.
Like I'm back.
Wow, unbelievable.
You know what it is? It's like I'm catapulted. It's like a time travel, and I'm back in the day. And like when you said August 6th, it's like I'm there.
Fascinating.
I'm there, and
amazing.
I know. what happened.
I wish we could talk to you longer.
So, I mean, you might have been able to ask me those other, whatever you had in mind. But I've been on shows where people have said, like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that was, I don't know. Or a sports question.
Mary Lou, we're going to have you come back on DBL. Whenever you're in Denver, please come here physically at the panel. And we adore you. You can also catch Mary Lou.
We have so much fun. But let me tell you something. I've been watching your show like this whole time. Oh, yeah. That's on June the 13th, Aurora Tea Garden on June 13th on the Hallmark Murders and Mystery Channel. So that's going to be but you guys are a blast. Every single thing you're talking about, I want to like sit there with you for a day.
Be on the panel.
And like hang out and talk.
Anytime. And she gave her own plug. She's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Wow, you belong here. We'll be right back. Thank you, Mary Lou.
She's done. Amazing.
Nearly.
After being criticized for being too cautious, the CDC has done an about-face on face masks. So why the change? Turns out vaccines are that good. Let's connect the dots. Some of the criticism the CDC has faced was it was underselling vaccines by not allowing vaccinated people more freedom. That's because the data we now have on the COVID vaccines show they are extremely effective in preventing severe disease. Experts now have more than just the results of the clinical trials. They have real-world data. One reason the CDC was cautious was because of concerns that even vaccinated people could still spread the disease. But as more shots are going into arms, it looks like that is not common. One real-world study found that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines help prevent transmission, not just symptoms. So now the focus moves from face masks to encouraging everybody to get vaccinated.
Welcome back to DBL. He spent 2 decades locked away in a cage. At one point, he came within 3 days of dying for a crime he never committed. In today's Freedom Files, we speak with Joe D'Ambrosio about his remarkable road to freedom and the one person who helped him get there.
September 24th, 1988. The stabbed body of 19-year-old Anthony Klan is found floating in a creek in Cleveland, Ohio.
Now, everybody involved in this case at one time or another worked for the landscaping company.
26-year-old Joe D'Ambrosio is the newest to the company, having known the team for less than a month.
And they're saying that the night that we were in the bars is the night that he died. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no.
The company's foreman, Edward Espinoza, he lays out a fabricated story that involves Joe and the company's owner, Michael Keenan.
Espinoza is pointing his finger at me and Keenan, saying he stood there and watched while me and Keenan killed this kid.
Joe is charged with aggravated murder, kidnapping, and aggravated burglary. Espinoza takes a deal, pleading guilty to manslaughter, and testifies against Joe.
He said that Mike cut his throat, pushed him in the creek, and then Mike turned around and handed me the knife, jumped into this creek, chased Anthony down, and stabbed him 3 times in the chest.
Espinoza says the murder was over an argument about missing drugs.
The only defense that I put up was me.
But Joe struggles while on the stand.
So they threw me up there cold and let the prosecutor have at me. Tore me up.
Joe is found guilty and sentenced to death. Locked in his cage for 23 hours a day, Joe passes the time by working on his case.
It's life or death. You know, this is what matters.
Joe shares his story with a death row inmate who has a unique pen pal.
When I first started writing to death row inmates, I was writing one guy, and Keith Hennis was that guy. And Keith would literally tell me about the inmates that were in the cells around him.
While reading the obituaries in the local paper, Father Neil notices Joe's mother and decides to attend her funeral. He meets with Joe in prison afterwards.
And he's trying to explain my mom's funeral to me. And I'm thanking him profusely, but I'm saying, you got to help me. I didn't do this. And he's like, no, I can't.
But Father Neil's interest peaks after he hears the length of Joe's trial.
Father Neil's not just a priest. He's a registered nurse and an attorney. And I'm going for the attorney in him.
And when Joe told me that he had the shortest death penalty case in the history of Ohio, and that a capital case that would take somebody's life was memorialized in one volume, I'm like, that's not possible.
Father Neil spends the next 14 years investigating Joe's case. In 2006, 17 years after being found guilty, Joe is granted a new trial.
85% of the evidence that freed me was in 3 places: prosecutor's file, police file, and coroner's file. And it was there all along. And they hid it.
In 2012, after 20 years on death row and another 3 trying to clear his name, Joe is finally a free man.
Joe, welcome to DBL. I'm going to start off with this question for you. The killer, the actual killer in your case, has never been brought to justice. And you've said that this murder will always be a cold case. I want to know from you why you think that.
Well, there's actually two murderers in this case. One was my co-defendant, and he died. The second one is a guy, we're not even sure if he's still alive or not. Last we knew of was 12 years ago when I was going through my retrial. And the reason they won't go after him is because if they go after him, they have to get their checkbook out and pay me. Because it shows that they should never came after me.
I've got a hypothetical for you, Joe. Let's say Father Neil never got involved in your case. Do you believe you'd still be in prison right now?
No, I'd be dead. I'd be dead.
You'd be dead.
Wow.
If Father Neil didn't come into my life, they would have executed me easily 17 years ago and not even batted an eye. Father Neil is not only a priest, he's a registered nurse, and he's an attorney. He had to be all 3 things to do what he did for me. If he was only 2 of the 3, it never would have worked.
Why would him missing one of those have affected you in your case overall?
If he wasn't the priest, he wouldn't have initially been writing the inmate in the cell next to me. If he wasn't the attorney, he wouldn't have caught on to the things that I was telling him. And he needed to be the nurse because the very first thing, when I first talked him into helping me, he read through my trial transcript and he read it that night. And as he was reading it, he came across the coroner's testimony about Anthony Clan's throat being cut. Espinoza, my co-defendant, said that he was running down a creek after his throat was cut, screaming, "Please don't kill me, please don't kill me." Well, he was a critical care nurse for over 15 years. He knows if your throat is compromised,
don't scream, right?
You can't scream, you can't do anything. And on top of that, he had 650 milliliters of blood in his lungs and stomach. So if anything, he was drowning in his own blood, not screaming for help.
Wow. And running.
Like, wait a minute, this is so wrong. Wow. And if this is so wrong, what else is wrong?
Joe, thank you so much for joining DBL. We really appreciate you taking the time. We'll be right back.
No problem.
Thanks,
you have
Joe.
a good day.
You too.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
People can now sign up to see if they qualify for $50 off their monthly internet through an FCC program. This has raised a lot of questions from viewers wondering how this process works. So we want to verify, does the FCC ask for personal information for its $50 broadband internet credit? With Verify, we show you who our sources are first. We spoke with Patrick Weber. He is the chief of the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau at the Federal Communications Commission. The main question we've received, do I need to provide my social security number? No, you don't need to, but it is an option. You can either provide your social security number, tribal ID number, or one of these forms of identification.
The things that would verify you as the person that you're saying you are, those are things that are required for the program.
Next, do I have to show my tax form? This is true. The FCC needs this for proof of how much income your household makes.
You would have to have an income below $99,000 for a single filer and below $198,000 for joint filers.
Is my credit card number or bank account number required? No, it is not. As long as you provide your tax form, the FCC will not ask for any more financial information.
They'll be able to get all the information they need from you and get you enrolled from their own website.
So we can verify. Yes, the FCC will ask for some personal information, but you will have options in what you provide. To apply, you can visit getemergencybroadband.org.
Welcome back to DBL. If you're trying to get back into shape for summer, here are some tips in DBL's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. First, take ice cold baths or showers. They help you build resilience and improve your immune response. Really? Ooh. Second, walk in the mornings and evenings. That helps your circadian rhythm, which is sleep. Finally, steam rooms or saunas help you get rid of extra water and sodium and prevent bloating. Staying active is so important, and QB has made it easy. Try their under-desk elliptical at home, 1-800-782-2351, or you can visit QB.com to learn more.
QB in front of the TV for 1 hour, and you're good to go.
Nice. DBL's new every day. Happy Friday, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.